This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning. Fred Smith says the Shantytown eradication plan is a bit at ethnic cleansing. The Ministry of Health noticing a marked increase in COVID cases as more than 5,000 are vaccinated so far. And a huge spat in the Senate. What was it all about? It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, March 26th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we will be talking with the University of the Bahamas about their upcoming UB Fit, their virtual UB Fit. And later in Morning Blend Business, we are talking architecture, architectural trends, and what does the future hold in light of what we learned during the pandemic in terms of design? It's all straight ahead this morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, there's been a marked increase in new COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations here in New Providence and also in Abaco and Grand Bahama. The Ministry of Health says it has become disconcerting. The Ministry of Health noting that the number of COVID cases since January 21 has increased. It says that the hospitalizations, especially on the islands of New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Abaco, are of great concern. The ministry is saying that it encourages the general public to continually adhere to health precautions, avoid social gatherings, maintain adequate social distancing, wash hands frequently, and wear masks. The ministry also saying the public should be reminded that COVID-19 vaccinations are now available for those who wish to exercise the option to be vaccinated. Now, between January 2nd and March 24th, New Providence recorded 599 new COVID cases. Grand Bahama recorded 258 cases, and Abaco had 102 new cases. The latest COVID-19 dashboard for March 24th showed that there were 33 new cases recorded in the country. 21 on New Providence, 8 on Grand Bahama, 2 on Abaco, and 1 in Eleuthera, 1 in Exuma. 3 of the new cases from New Providence were cases with a history of travel within the last 14 days. 15 of the new cases were males and 18 females. In all, the country recorded 8,986 cases of COVID-19 since March of 2020. There was a total number of 31 people in the hospital as of March 24th, 11 at Doctors Hospital, 2 at South Beach Acute Care and Referral Center, 4 at Princess Margaret Hospital, and 14 at Grand Bahama Health Services. One of the 11 cases at Doctors Hospital was in the intensive care unit. In all, there are 928 active cases still in the country at this time, with 7,816 recovered patients. In terms of deaths, the ministry says 188 people have died since the start of the pandemic in the country. 39 people died with COVID, but not because of it, and 15 deaths remain under investigation. In other news, Fred Smith QC arguing that the government's attempt to eliminate shanty towns in the country is, quote, nothing short of ethnic cleansing of Haitian ethnic communities. Smith represents shantytown residents in a legal battle against the government in its bid to rid the country of shantytowns. The respondents in the matter are Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, Minister of Labour Dion Fowkes, Minister of Public Works Desmond Bannister, Attorney General Carl Bethel, BPL, Bahamas Power and Light, and the Water and Sewage Corporation. Yesterday marked the first day of the trial before Supreme Court Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson. Minister of Tourism Dionisio de Aguilar says the government has spent more than $100 million so far on the Grand Lucayne Resort in Freeport, which includes the $65 million purchase price. He says it is worth it, though. He says they made the right decision. He says the PLP would have wanted the government to do nothing and that the hotel would have been shuttered. But he says our objective was to buy it and onward sell it to someone as quickly as possible. He says the buyer, Royal Caribbean and ITM, are still interested and are expected to make an announcement on the details of the sale soon. And a man remanded to prison pending sentencing after he admitted to exposing himself to a girl on Madeira Street in Palmdale. This was on Wednesday morning. Yesterday, 29-year-old Joel Griffin spoke loudly to himself and turned to look out the window as Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt dealt with other matters before she called his case. However, he stopped making noise after the court's martial signaled for him to be quiet. Griffin, who was wearing dirty clothing, appeared to understand the proceedings. When the magistrate read the incident and read the indecent exposure charge to him and asked for his plea, he said he, quote, I plead guilty. The court has not yet accepted his plea. The prosecutor is expected to read the summary of the evidence that would have been presented at the trial at noon on April 1st. If Griffin accepts the summary, the magistrate would proceed to sentencing. Overseas, France's president says he has nothing to be sorry about for refusing to impose a third virus lockdown earlier this year, even though his country is now facing surging infections that are straining hospitals, and more than 1,000 people with the virus are dying every week. Emmanuel Macron's government has stressed the importance of keeping children in school and business afloat as the pandemic stretches into a second year. For months, France has championed a third way between confinement and freedom, including a nationwide curfew and closing restaurants, museums, cinemas, gyms, many shopping malls, and some other businesses. Many medical workers have been urging the French government for weeks to impose stronger restrictions, notably because of the more contagious and more dangerous virus variant first identified in Britain and now dominant in France. France has recorded the fourth highest number of virus infections in the world and among the highest death tolls at 93,378 lives lost. Intensive care units are again at or beyond capacity in Paris and several other regions because of the surge of critically ill virus patients. In sports, Bayman collegiate player Kai Jones is headed to the NBA. The versatile athlete, high leaper, is looking to be the third Bahamian to be drafted in the NBA since 2016 and sixth overall. He announced that he has relinquished his collegiate eligibility to enter the 2021 NBA draft. Jones, a sophomore for the University of Texas Longhorns, making the announcement on his Twitter and Instagram accounts Wednesday evening. Damian won the Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year this past season, averaging 8.8 points and 4.8 rebounds in 26 games. It was a huge improvement from his freshman season, where he averaged just 3.6 points and 3.2 rebounds per game. His collegiate career high in points was 20 against Oklahoma State in his freshman season. Read more about Kai Jones in today's Guardian Sports section. More from the NBA, Kyle Lowry wound up staying with Toronto after all. Victor Oladipo is finally in Miami, a destination he's eyed in the past, and Rajon Rondo is headed back to Los Angeles, though not with the team he helped win the NBA title last season. The deadline has come and gone now, and the playoff push can really begin. Miami, Denver, the Clippers, Portland, Dallas, Boston, and Atlanta were likely among the teams feeling convinced that they improved on deadline day after a flurry of moves, though the best player, at least this season, might have been landed by the Chicago Bulls. They got all-star forward Nikola Vucevic from Orlando, a move that ushered in the start of a big-time rebuild in Orlando for the Magic. Vucevic is the only player from the season's All-Star game to be traded at the deadline. It was a steep price. Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu went to the Bulls for Otto Porter, Wendell Carter Jr., and 2 future first-round selections. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, a strengthening ridge of high pressure extending across the island chain will continue to dominate weather conditions through tonight. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern shorelines. For all areas today, look for mostly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with a few light passing showers, turning fair and breezy tonight. A small craft caution is in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. Winds east to southeast at 15 knots, but gusty at times in the northwest Bahamas. Easterly at 15 to 20 knots in the central and southeast Bahamas. Seas 3 to 5 feet in the northwestern islands, but building to 4 to 6 feet in the central and southeastern islands. It's about 74 degrees right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to around 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend. On your home for fresh news, smart talk all day, Guardian Radio 96.9.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. That's Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be back with us. And we're going to talk with him in just a moment. We have a lot to get to this morning, including what's in the news. Also, in our 8 o'clock hour, UB Fit is back, but it's going to be virtual this year. How will that work? They're going to explain that to us coming up. Then, in our 9 o'clock hour, Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking about architectural trends here in the Bahamas today, and especially in light of the pandemic. What's changed in terms of design after what we went through over the past year, people having to queue up outside in long lines in the sun? Are designers thinking about that? Are businesses thinking about that? Should you be thinking about that? We're going to talk about that this morning. So a lot to get to, but first let's begin with what's in the news. And I think we have Stephen Hanna with us now. Yes, good morning, Stephen. Okay, wow, it's been a while. It's been a couple weeks. Hope you are feeling better. Hope all is well.
Still alive.
Oh, dear.
Still alive.
Oh, dear. You can't come back sounding like that. People have been asking about you. You've been off for 2 weeks, and you sound like you are in the hospital or something. Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm home. This is what my house sounds like. Why is it so echoey?
See, that's right there. That's all the concerns. Okay. Well, anyway, we're very happy to have you back. You've been missed, and glad to hear that you're doing well. I think. Right?
What do you mean you think?
Well, you sound so but that is you. Right. That is true. Right. By 9 o'clock, I'll be on the ceiling. Okay. But anyway, great to have you back. In the news, COVID cases on the rise. The Ministry of Health says they're a little concerned about this. They've noticed that the hospitalizations are up and the number of new cases are up for New Providence, Abaco, Grand Bahama. And the ministry says it's closely monitoring this now. The number of people in the hospital, a big concern at this point. So again, the ministry is encouraging people to remember the guidelines, to adhere to the health protocols and the precautions, the social gatherings, avoid them, maintain social distancing. That seems to be a big problem around here. Big problem. Washing hands and wearing masks. The public's reminded that COVID-19 vaccinations are also available, and for those who wish to exercise that option. Now, between January 2nd and March 24th, Providence had 599 new cases. Grand Bahama had 258, and Abaco had 102. According to the latest dashboard for March 24th, there were 33 new cases in the country, 21 for New Providence, 8 for Grand Bahama, and 2 for Abaco, 1 in Eleuthera and 1 in Exuma. 3 of the new cases from New Providence were cases with a history of travel within the last 14 days. 15 of the new cases were men and 18 were women. In all, the country recorded 8,986 cases of COVID-19 since March 2020. 31 people are in the hospital as of March 24th, 11 at doctors, 2 at South Beach Acute Care and Referral Center, 4 at Princess Margaret Hospital, and 14 at Grand Bahama Health Services. 1 of the 11 cases at Doctors' Hospitals in the intensive care unit. So still dealing with people with severe illness here. And so many are quick to just discount that as if, it's not a big deal. Everyone's going to be fine. No, not everybody's going to be fine. And this is what's led to the extraordinary efforts to protect lives. But apparently, some of us think lives are disposable, but that's... But here we go. So keep that in mind. We've got some holidays coming up. You might think everything's fine, but you still need to exercise good judgment over the next few days, especially if you're one of those who, I'm not getting any vaccine. So we are dealing with something, and here we are. You've heard that in the overnight. France seeing their numbers increase. Many other countries seeing surges at this time. And a lot of people are traveling. Like everything's fine. But yeah, we don't need a third wave. We don't want to go through what we went through last year again. More lockdowns, more restrictions, more extended curfews, or none of that. Right? All right.
I've forgotten what it was like before time.
Before curfews and lockdowns?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time. Wow. All right. The other big story, this is quite something. The things that come out of people's mouths. Shantytown eradication plan called a bid at ethnic cleansing. That's from Fred Smith, QC, who yesterday argued that the government's attempt to eliminate shantytowns is, quote, nothing short of ethnic cleansing of Haitian ethnic communities. For more on all of this, take a listen to this report from our Jared Higgs.
Those Shantytown residents allege that government Shantytown demolition plans amounted to an attempt to eliminate ethnic Haitian minority communities and have them integrated into Bahamian communities. They also claim that Shantytowns are healthy, livable neighborhoods and not ghettos, and there's nothing illegal about the communities. Smith got to the judicial review and constitutional motion proceedings underway, relying heavily on minutes from a meeting of the Shantytown Action Task Force on January 3rd, 2018, to argue that the task force, headed up by Labour Minister Dion Fowkes, had a cabinet mandate to eliminate shantytowns on New Providence and the Family Islands. He also pointed to comments by Works Minister Desmond Bannister made to reporters, where he said government is committed to eradicating shantytowns. Smith argued that the policy is problematic because government does not own the land, evidenced by comments by the Labour Minister, and therefore has no immediate right to the land. Therefore, Smith says government can't evict people from the land, nor can they make the landlords evict their tenants. Smith told the court that the policy affects 20,000 Shantytown residents, and the case is an important one on protecting the rule of law. He argued that the policy was too general and compared it to police surrounding a community and searching every home for drugs. He says the decision maker, whether the minister or a Ministry of Works official, ought to put their mind to each resident's circumstances. Another issue raised was the description of the communities as unregulated. The Shantytown residents argued that regulated communities or subdivisions are a recent development in the Bahamas, and historically, people built in clusters around the country. Speaking about the homes in Shantytown, Smith says they aren't shacks or homes on the side of the road. He says they've been around for decades. Turning to the Over the Hill project that lists social and economic empowerment as objectives, Smith argued that the policy toward Haitian ethnic communities was discriminatory compared to other over-the-hill communities with similar features. He questioned why a similar plan was not made for ethnic Haitian communities. The applicants further criticized the policy's plans to have shelters open to house people who were displaced by the shantytown demolitions. He also contended that the residents of the shantytowns were not consulted prior to notices to vacate being posted in communities, and they had a legitimate expectation that they should have been consulted. Smith says a survey conducted didn't ask the residents how the policy would impact them. Back in August 2018, Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson granted an injunction preventing government from proceeding with planned demolition exercises and disconnection of utilities in shantytowns. Respect Our Homes Limited and the 177 shantytown residents are seeking to prove that government's policy is unlawful, unconstitutional, and motivated by ethnic discrimination. The case was adjourned to tomorrow, where attorney Fred Smith QC will continue making his case. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
Ethnic cleansing.
Right. Okay. Well, clearly using strong language appeals and catches people's attention. But my question is, and I'm sure that Fred Smith is doing it with the intention, with the best intention, all right? But what is your final intention? Because it seems like your intention is for things to stay the same and not for it to improve. And you're free to argue that the way in which the government is trying to improve could use improvement, but you can't just be like, you should leave everything the way it is. All right? And that's what it sounds like, because like the argument is these communities should exist as is, and any attempt to bring them into the 21st century, and I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the literal physical community into the 21st century, is an attempt to erase a community. And it's like, I don't know if it's that. I don't think that's what it is. First of all, I don't know if it was a direct quote, but when Jared says that these shanty towns are not ghettos, it's like, which definition of ghetto are you using?
Yep, that was a direct quote. Smith said.
Because a ghetto, this is almost literally the definition of a ghetto, right? Where it's like a ghetto is a place where persons are restricted to based on ethnicity, religious affiliation, economic affiliation. Like this is a ghetto by definition, right? And it's like a shanty town is one of those terms where you assume that it's temporary housing that is being used as permanent housing. And it's like, if people are going to be constantly living in an area, then they should be living in certain conditions, right? And it's like, no one is saying, I see it's one of those things where it's like, the argument being made against it is kind of a straw man, because like, oh, it's not dirty. And it's like, it's not, define what do you mean by dirty? It's like, no one is saying that nobody sweeps inside the area. What we're saying is that this area was not developed correctly up to the standards that we know in modern society will be the best standards and practices for persons who are presently in the community and future people in the community.
Yeah.
And so it's like, to me, it's like, I understand that Fred Smith might be attempting to do a positive thing, but it sounds like what he is saying is leave everything alone. And to his point, that places like Beantown and Grantstown and other areas that are historic African liberated settlements are built not in a straight grid-like fashion. They're built in circles around stuff. Whatever. Yeah, and those areas, not because of the geometric of the area, but because of other things, like they lack water. They don't have running water to the houses, and the buildings themselves are not adequate, those areas also need fixing.
Yes,
And they also need corrections.
Subsequent governments have been trying to fix them up for years as well.
Right. It's a straw man argument to be like, well, how come y'all didn't do nothing with Baytown? It's like people have been complaining that the landlords who own the areas in Baytown and are renting to poor people need to do better. And that the representatives of the people who live in Baytown need to use their political power and might to force this to happen. So it's like all of that's a different argument that we are also in agreement with. It's all like, what do you?
Yeah, we got calls coming in, and I just want to reiterate something that Smith said. So this is what he said in the court yesterday. So, quote, the consequence of eliminating the shanty towns is obviously to dispossess people. They are not ghettos, which is otherwise suggested to be the case. Comparing shanty towns with the over-the-hill community is instructive. Like the shanty towns, over the hill was described as, one, the epicenter of cultural and social development for an ethnic group, according to the white paper, those of African descent. Notwithstanding these common features, the government's intended treatment of the over-the-hill is totally different. Okay. And he keeps calling them cultural communities. It is very odd. Let's hear what you have to say, though, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316.
That's what you do when you're making a straw man argument.
Yeah.
You restructure the question, and then you answer the new question and say, see, I've proven my point. And it's like, no, you've not. Mm-hmm. No one is saying destroy any culture. At least that's not what this argument is about. This argument is literally a shanty town is not up to standard for what a modern community needs.
Although he points out that according to a report, the assessment report, 60% of the structures in these shanty towns were reported as code-worthy. 60%.
No, but okay. So, right.
All right, hold that thought. Let's get these calls and we can get back to what you're thinking there. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, good morning, folks.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Okay. Listen, I ain't talking about shanty town now, all right? But the first story that you read regarding the increase in COVID cases since January to now, am I right with that?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, the campaigning, and the campaigners is going on now. Have you all given the reporters, maybe check it out, give some type of consideration to the fact that some of these people in the hospital and in the intensive care and all of that, were they campaigners? Or were they campaigners who went to people's door and had the COVID? Have you all considered that? I'm asking that question to you this morning.
I have no idea. And if that's the case, then we should be very afraid.
But
right?
listen,
they've been
you
all over
need
the
to
place.
consider that, though.
Well, I hope the Ministry of Health is considering it.
Huh?
I hope the Ministry of Health is considering it, because that means this thing's going to spread again, and we're all going to get locked down until God knows when again.
But maybe we need to get locked down and stop this campaigning so early, because let me tell you something. Dr. Miller ain't going to call no election right now here. It's going to be next May, all right? He's trying this strategy where he's going to say only those who are strong economically are going to survive by next May. But still, I'm saying somebody need to consider or go and check out, has any of these people who are now in hospital with COVID, have they been a campaigner, or have they come, or are they one of the persons who the campaigner came to their door? Really, we do need to consider that.
Okay.
Anyway, folks, have a nice day.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Let's take this other call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to you all.
Hi.
Yes, I don't agree with the ethnic cleansing thing, because I would think that ethnic cleansing is about murder, of an ethnic group, But I would think that what's going on with this thing with this shanty town is all about about the immigrants getting having eventually owning or getting free crown land. You see, and poor behemoths not having the same opportunity. You see, right? Remember yesterday.
I don't think specifically this is the case, because they mention inside this one that there are landlords that own the property that the shanty towns
I
are.
understand that too, but the amount of rent these people are paying, right? The rent these people are paying is much less than that in the city. Plus, many of these properties, these people eventually own these lands. You know, we know that in the past. Like the immigrants own this landlord. I mean, they eventually acquire these properties, not the landlords.
I don't know that to be true.
As well as remember yesterday, right? We all in the news yesterday. All the talk show hosts, they talk about these land for professionals. Come on now, who does subsidize housing? Who subsidizes housing or a housing program for professionals? In which nation that happen? You know, we trying to subsidize housing for professionals when we have our own citizens who can acquire land. And the poor people who can acquire land, and they discuss that the Haitians are having more access to this crown land than them.
But I'd say that's not the case, though.
Well, why is it? Why you say it's not the case? It's actually the case.
No, it's not the case. You're
in this way.
That's not the case in the situation that's being discussed now, where where persons of Haitian descent have more access to crown land.
It is. You saying it's not
literally? Fred Smith said that the government does not own the land, so the government cannot evict them, and because it's owned by private individuals, the government cannot force them to evict them. That means that somebody who has legal right to a piece of property has decided for a reduced fee to rent it to these individuals. Now, that is a part of the reason why the standards inside the area or the infrastructure in the area isn't up to modern standards. Right?
But okay, let's say that's just one.
I'm saying like it's not that the thing that you're thinking is not what's happening.
But I'm saying that this is why the government is making this move on this particular on this area, and the fact that their agenda says is eradicate all shanty towns. Remember that was the minister's statement. They offered this to ratify all these shanty towns in Nassau and the Family Islands. You see, it's not just this particular that property they're saying is owned privately owned, and I was thinking that this property at one time was crown land too, and then given to this private individual, whether they foreign or Bahamian. You see, the issue is we have poor people in this country that, and that's what makes both the PLP and FNM the same. You realize that they have all them advocating for socialism for the professional class and not for the people that really need it.
Why are you making a distinction between? Because you also said it earlier where you said. They're giving land to the professionals, but not Bahamians.
Right. But
the professionals are Bahamians.
No, but professionals, they're not left behind. The paying of the issue of subsidies for the people that need, right? The social assistance for the people that need is other poor people. That's what governments do. Governments take care of those that the private sector, that this free market thing are unable to employ or pay. We always talk, but all of the minimum wages, this and we can't afford that, and what it'll do to these businesses. But yet we don't want to pay these poor people a livable wage to own a house, to own a $40,000, to be able to buy a $40,000 piece of property. And take it to the bank and get this rent to own, like it's a rent to own thing for professionals.
I agree with you 100% on that.
Well, I don't know if I do. I mean, seriously now, you just want handouts, right? So at some point, you're going to have to work and not clown around and be able to climb yourself out of where you are, if that's what you really want. But if you want the government to give you everything, well, then we're going to have a problem. Everyone's going to have a problem with that. So I don't know how you're mixing up every argument in the book. I don't understand it. Why? What is that all about? It's very hard for even the middle class, right? You can't afford anything in this place. What's difficult to understand about that? I don't see what the big deal is. I don't get it. But let's stick on what we're talking about today. Folks, please, for goodness sake. Wow. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight and Stephen.
Hi.
Morning.
Is Mr. Smith suggesting then, right, because the property is privately owned, right, that you could just go and construct homes at will on privately owned properties?
Apparently.
Because
especially if they're up to code, apparently.
But how we know if Ministry of Works was even involved with the code? So, or even any permit was issued. If I build a wall inside my property, inside this Nassau place, I need a permit, or I may be threatened to have it knocked down, right? So, that's a private property; it ain't government owned. So, what are these people are suggesting? That if you are a foreign national, right, and you sometime happen to get some status in the Bahamas, you could find yourself on a private property, and you could build illegal homes, and it's okay and acceptable, and we supposed to accept that hogwash. We're tired of this foolishness in this country, man. What about apprehending these illegals and sending them back to the nation they came from? That could become their problem. We can't take on all of the nation's problems, man.
I was with you up until the end of it.
Thanks a lot.
It's like you were making a point, and then
let's read some text.
It's difficult to stay on topic.
It seems so, especially with this one. Let's read some messages, and we'll get back to the calls. Someone says here, so because houses were around for decades, it isn't illegal. I worked hard and saved to buy my house and go into debt for years. People can't just build anywhere they please.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, I have an issue with that argument because the argument is like it's not fair because I didn't get to do it, right? And that's not a good argument for anything because what you're actually saying is I don't have an issue with.
That's all I was hearing yesterday on, as a previous caller mentioned, the number of talk shows that we're talking about.
I haven't,
this isn't fair. What about me?
Right, right. And see, that's the problem. Your argument cannot be, oh, y'all ain't arresting people for weed no more. In the 80s, I get arrested for weed. That's not fair. It's like, are you against weed or are you for it? Like, your argument can't be, it's not fair that I didn't get a chance to break the law. All right? So that's where I gotta, like, get off the bus on that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, your argument cannot be, I paid a bunch of money. That was wrong. Land should be available for everybody. Everybody should have the opportunity to build a home and have shelter that is adequate, up to code and up to modern standards. However, that is not the conversation and that is not the questions being asked right now. The questions being asked right now is this ethnic cleansing for the government to require a community to be up to a certain standard, right? And the fact that a building is constructed doesn't mean that the community is up to standard, right? And so when he says it's up to code, it doesn't matter whether or not a building inspector came there and says, oh, this is a sound building. The building, like if you want to sell food from a certain place, you have to get permission from town planning. Like I can't just set up a restaurant in my house. And so it's like there's certain things that we've all signed on, whether we realize it or not, right? As a part of a society to say, well, this is how we want things to work. Now we could argue against that, but that is the question that's being asked. The question that is being asked is not, are they getting more land than us? Because that is definitely not the case in this situation.
Yeah. Let's read some more messages.
And if you feel like you're paying too much for rent, the people who own these pieces of property will exploit you as well if you are willing to go and be exploited.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
Right? You understand what I'm saying? So, like,
Apparently.
the argument cannot be that.
This one says, as long as our political leaders cater to illegal immigrants, things will never get better in this country. The other evening, Brave Davis was campaigning among the immigrants campaigning. Okay, I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
That's it.
He was in a shanty town? Is that what you're saying? What does that among the immigrants mean? What is that?
I guess they looked at the people and they felt like those people couldn't be real behemoths.
Did he go to an
because
embassy
none of them
somewhere?
were Lucayans.
He must have gone to some consulate or embassy. I don't. What does that mean?
Like, and then the fact that they're campaigning there means that those people can vote.
Absolutely.
Well, therefore means those people are behaving. Like, I don't know what standard would you like a person to be in order for you to believe that they're behaving. But once again, that has nothing to do with the conversation.
Not at all. Another one here. We need a government and minister of immigration who's serious about making sure the immigration laws are enforced. The country is supposed to be Bahamians and legal immigrants. You know, that's not what we're talking about here.
Illegal immigration at any point today?
No, that's what I'm saying. We're not talking about that. These people, as we've heard, are mainly Bahamians in there, right? Or people who are about to be sorted out in terms of their immigration status here. Mm-hmm. So it's not even an illegal immigration issue, although it has sparked from that. I'm sure it has come from that. But that's not what we're exactly talking about. Now, we're talking about what Fred Smith is saying in court, but also this term ethnic cleansing, right? Which, I think we can all agree that is this. He should even be sanctioned. I don't know. Something needs to happen for him even using that language.
Is what is helping to further this argument, right? Or the people who are calling in and questioning all this different stuff. All of this is feeding into itself. So he is saying that this is a war between Haitians and Bahamians, essentially by calling it ethnic cleansing, right? Because that's what happened. So that's what happened in Serbia. That's what happened inside Rwanda.
Yeah.
Where it's like this is two people groups who are going head to head, right? By him using these terms and making it seem like this is an active thing, active war going on between these two people groups, it is only feeding into the animosity that some people hold towards persons of Haitian descent. Mm-hmm. This is not about illegal immigration. This is about persons who live in a certain community that is not up to the standard that we would like communities that are residential to be. All this is about.
Yeah, another text here. Fred Smith is either saying the law is weak, ineffective, outdated, or does not reach to the point of relative and relevant circumstances on the ground today in this country. He also is saying that the law does not and should not apply to Haitian immigrants who are unlawfully squatting on private land.
What?
Well, unlawfully is squatting is debatable, and that's what he's saying. He's saying they are not. They're paying. It's not
debatable. If they're paying rent, they're not squatting. Mm-hmm. Like if there are 4 people in my house, they're not and I let them in and they give me money every month, they're not squatting. Like it's a different thing. And like I understand that a lot of people have a bunch of notions inside their head every time they hear the word Haitian. All right? But this is not any of your notions. This is solely about whether or not the infrastructure in this area is up to modern standards. Government has said, no, it is not. This area cannot be developed in this way. We have to start over, tear it down, and start over. That is not an attack on a culture. That is an attack on infrastructure. All right? And it's like, we have to be able to separate that, separate our personal prejudice, separate what we heard our Grammy say, separate what somebody on the bus once said to us, separate what even other crazy talk show hosts say from reality. None of that. No one at any point in that news story said the word immigration.
Mm-hmm. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Morning, Stephen.
Hi.
Morning.
How you guys doing? Boy, I so tired of this type of conversation because every time you talk about, first of all, I think politics in this country has allowed for many years that whole argument about shanty towns to be associated with illegal immigration. You know, the notion of it, a shanty town basically is basically buildings being built on private land, not up to code. Because a lot of the times these people that live, even Bahamians live in these shanty towns, you know. Bahamians who have not, who even in other Haitians, Bahamians, you know.
Because it's cheap.
Not available. You're talking about construction material and everything. They build these structures based on not having availability of construction materials. And so whatever's available, they use to build. But what happened in the last hurricane, Dwight, was they, you know, donors went down there and they gave out good quality material. These people were allowed, you see some of those houses that's in certainly on those properties, they were basically built by skilled laborers in those particular community, and they like your regular nice structure. But what happened? People were surprised at, you know, how could they allow to be built? You know, the thing is, I wasn't shocked, right? What I was shocked by is that a group of people came together, not waiting on government. They got together and they started to build structures. You know, they still ain't waiting on handouts and whatever. And then when we see that type of argument, we see that type of thing happening, we say, hey, illegals building illegally in the Bahamas. And that's not the case. A lot of those people were born here, waiting to be regularized, and they probably not building the code, whatever. And that's something that the Ministry of Works have to figure out.
Right.
But it's not a squatting situation. The biggest persons that squat the Bahamas are Bahamians building illegal structure. Whether we want to believe it or not, the government came and said themselves that a lot of the Crown land, a lot of the lands that were available for farmer Bahamians have apartment structures on, businesses on. Bahamians accounted for over 50% of illegal structures built in this country. And if
That's
you
how
go
you
back
get
and
crown
say,
land. You have to be a Bahamian.
Yeah, and if you want to go and say you want to eradicate this, right? A lot of the homes in the Family Island, let's be honest, do not have building permits. A lot of homes from Bahamians, if we want to be honest. But we don't want to have that conversation. All we want to do is point fingers at the Haitians who come here and do it, and who are allowed to do it on private property. And that's the case. And it ain't just Haitians. You're talking about you have Americans doing it. People who on those family go on those family islands
terrible.
all the time, right?
I've heard horror stories. With lawyers taking people's land, squatting on it, and using trickery to get what they want.
Quieting.
And at the end of the day, right? We have a personal issue with Haitians, and more so that a lot of stuff they don't affect our daily lives. You know what affects our daily lives? When these big hotels come here, we give them hundreds of acres of land, and that's what happens. They put the door and they leave the country, and we don't have jobs.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your contribution this morning. Thank you. Let's take another call before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Great.
Hold it on.
I just tuned in. And because I'm getting that you guys are saying that. My point is this: going forward, could this be setting precedents for other landowners who may be watching this case and say, who may be adhering to the law and not, or maybe presented with a opportunity or whatever you want to call it, to have persons who may approach them who want to build structures on their land, and they didn't do it because the infrastructure or whatever that needs to be set in place haven't been set in place, or the cost may be too high. But now, could this be precedent saying that, okay, if the government or if they win this case, that landowner could allow persons, be it Haitians, Bahamian, whoever, to build on their land without the proper codes or whatever? This what I'm getting from this particular argument, that regardless of once the land is private, anybody could go ahead and build. That's the correct thing I'm getting from this?
I don't know. Who knows?
That's
It's possible.
It's possible. Fred Smith, but I mean, honestly, this ain't a new argument. This is the reason. This is the problem with the Joe Farrington Road community.
So hold on, but my last point, and I know you have other callers. My last point on this is then, so why then would anybody adhere to the law? And I mean, like, why would I go ahead and spend all kind of money and get code, build up the code, or even when I could probably find a friend who have some property and I could just pay them? I mean, why would you even adhere to the law now?
Well, the difference is you are probably in a more visible area than where these are.
So if I have property in Abaco, I'm from Abaco. Once I get property in Abaco, could I then go build in Abaco once this person?
I don't think we need to go this far. Right? The government can easily contain this with laws. Now, what he's doing is challenging a law. But, and we'll see what the court says. But the government can come with new laws that can really make this harder for them. Like, you have to have indoor plumbing. You have to have this, right? You have this would be this. And I'm sure some lawyer would try to challenge that. But let them fight it in the courts. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. They're trying, but you just need to see what's going on in your country. The people, if Fred Smith feels this way, I invite Fred Smith to move into one of these communities. If you feel this is a great cultural...
No, but understand, the reason why he phrased it all that way was that it's a cultural thing and you will never understand. And the fact that he doesn't want to do it means that he's just not a part of that culture.
Oh, yeah?
Right?
Okay.
And so, once again, it is all subterfuge, disingenuous. It's a straw man argument, right? And I understand he's trying to do what he believes is a good thing, and he's taking extreme methods to do it. And I think that is ill-advised because while it will get you a front-page news story, it is going to hurt your entire movement down the road.
Okay, we'll explore a little more of that when we come back. This is Morning Bled on a Friday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I'm one of the greatest, ain't no debating on it. I'm still levitated, I'm heavily medicated. Ironic, I gave him love and they end up hating on me. She told me she loved me and she been waiting. Been fighting hard for your love and I'm running thin on my patience. Needing someone to hug, even took it back to the basics.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley.
Tornado sirens have been sounding in western Georgia this morning after severe storms killed at least 5 people in Alabama. Chase Gibbs and his family made it out of their home in Ohatchee, Alabama, just before a storm smashed into their house. He tells WBMA-TV.
It's kind of devastating because, I worked my whole life to put this stuff in this house, and then it just ripped away in 1 second,
In all, 8 tornadoes may have hit Alabama. The AP's Jackie Quinn.
The fierce winds from one storm carved a path of destruction for 100 miles. Another caused the carnage in Calhoun County, where fatalities and injuries are reported. One man who died in his mobile home being mourned by a neighbor.
Japan's prime minister says he'll invite President Biden to the Tokyo Olympics when he visits the White House next month. President Biden held his first news conference yesterday at the White House, and reporters repeatedly pressed him on one subject: the surge of immigrants at the border.
Pushed repeatation at his first news conference, the president said his administration's expelling the vast majority of those trying to enter, with a big exception.
The only people we're not going to let sitting there on the other side of the Rio Grande by themselves with no help are children.
And says the U.S. will move to quickly move hundreds of them out of cramped detention facilities where he says conditions are unacceptable. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Thousands of mourners gathered last night for a vigil honoring the 10 people killed in the Colorado supermarket shooting. Hours earlier, attorneys for suspect Ahmad Alissa asked during his first court appearance that he receive a mental health evaluation before the case against him moves ahead. More than 1 million COVID-19 shots have been given at Major League Baseball stadiums, says the commissioner. This is AP News. Not everybody's happy with Georgia's new voting law.
The election bill passed by Republicans in the Georgia legislature includes requiring people to have a photo ID to cast an absentee ballot. Republican Governor Brian Kemp signed the measure, and in this public broadcasting, Kemp criticizes opponents who say the law is designed to suppress the vote.
Left-wing groups funded by out-of-state billionaires are already doing that now. They're using outrageous, false rhetoric to scare you and put millions of dollars in their own pocket.
Georgia had record voter turnout last November, more than 1 million people voting by mail. The new measure cuts the time people have to request an absentee ballot, limits where ballot drop boxes can be placed and when they can be accessed, and gives the legislature and its appointed head of the state elections board control over elections and local election officials. I'm Tim McGuire.
I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
7:41 the time. Time for your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, we are already seeing the heavy traffic on Smart Butler Highway. That's just north of Fire Trail, the northbound lanes heading towards Tawny-Williams-Darling Highway. Glasson Road also busy this morning, northbound lane heading towards JFK Drive. Elsewhere, traffic's building on Carmichael Road, eastbound towards Blue Hill Road, and along Blue Hill Road northbound, just north of St. Vincent Road and near that junction with Carmichael Road. And we're seeing some building traffic along Prince Charles Drive, especially the closer you get to Fox Hill Road and Beatrice Avenue. Don't forget the single lane in both directions traffic west of Fox Hill Road on Prince Charles Drive as they resurface the road in that area. That's what we're looking at so far, your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend Traffic Alert. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. And it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. Here's what's happening. We've got a strengthening ridge of high pressure extending across the islands. It's going to continue to dominate weather conditions through tonight. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern shorelines. Today, your forecast calls for mostly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with a few light passing showers, turning fair and breezy tonight. Small craft caution in effect for the central and southeastern Bahamas. 75 degrees right now under partly cloudy skies in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will persist as it continues to generate fresh to locally strong winds across the area through the weekend. So for Saturday, tomorrow, look for partly sunny to sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with a chance of a few isolated showers. Sunday, mostly sunny, warm, and very breezy with a chance of isolated showers. That's your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check brought to you by Rev Cable Bahamas. And basketball fans, sign up or upgrade to Rev Trio and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free. Call 601-8992 or email trio@cablebahamas.com to sign up. Rev, you and us together. We're back with Morning Blend after these messages.
Get ready! The real March Madness is here! Up to 100% off store-wide at Alive! That's right! Devices, earbuds, tablets, and so much more with crazy slashed prices. Pay close attention to our social media pages. Visit any Alive location or visit BeAlive.com for the best deals on some of your favorite devices and accessories. That's March Madness going on now at Alive. Believe in best.
RBC and Visa bring you a benefit as unique as you to enjoy Disney Plus. Get 2 months of the all-new Disney Plus streaming subscription on us if you have an RBC Visa Platinum card. Learn more by visiting www.rbc.com/Caribbean/Disney. Reimagine new ways to bank better.
Basketball is back, baby, and so is NBA League Pass, only with Rev Trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy it absolutely free, along with incredible prizes, including a brand new 50-inch smart TV, NBA gear, and more. With tons of prizes and gear, signing up for Trio is the best on- and off-court move this year. Just call 601-8992 or visit www.rev.bs/promotions/trio. Sign up for Rev Trio today and enjoy NBA League Pass absolutely free.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Your home is where your heart is, bud. It's more than just shelter. Your home is your workplace. Your home is school for your kids. Your home is even your happy place where you play. Get the best internet connection wherever you are. With blazing fast speeds up to 300 megabits per second for as low as 9 and installation within 48 hours. Sign up for any of our fiber packages today and get a chance to win a free tablet in your second month. Call or WhatsApp 577-SHOP or 424-SHOP and sign up today. Conditions apply.
Looking for plenty food and you're on a budget?
Wait, I'd break.
Stop into Wendy's and grab our latest bundle. Introducing the Biggie Bag. With the new Biggie Bag, you get a Dave's single, junior fries, regular drink, and 4-piece nuggets for only $7.25, VAT inclusive. Add an apple pie for just $1 more. Now that's a deal. It's the best on these streets. Available at all locations. Restrictions apply. Wendy's, different inside and out.
TF Express Delivery, the Uber for items, packages, and documents. It's the Bahamas' most efficient domestic delivery service. We pick up and deliver for businesses and individuals, and we're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for deliveries anywhere in Nassau. TF Express Delivery, the Uber for items, packages, and documents. Call us today at 815-28 or visit our website, tfxdelivery.com.
So, Gianna, how often have you been flossing? Well, you know that's not enough. And are you still working over at the daycare? Okay. How's Franklin? Haven't seen him at the club. I see. How are your boys doing? Okay. Sounds good. Now you just tell me if this hurts. Oh boy, that's a doozy. Did I ever tell you about the shark I found in my pool?
With 99% of medical claims paid in under 5 days, we're like a dentist that doesn't try to talk to you with your mouth full.
Sounds good.
CG Atlantic. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Atlantic Medical Insurance Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Coral Isle Pension Services Bahamas Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Pensions. And Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Smart Talk, all day.
Billboard, baby, do a leap and make them dance when they come on. Everybody looking for a dance floor to run on.
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shining just the way I like. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby, my sugar boo. I'm levitating, the Milky Way. We're renegading, yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me.
greatest.
We're
ain't
back
no
here with Morning
debating
Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Stephen Hanna. Stephen, we got to address this thing. If someone says it to me one more time, this voice note again. Yeah, the calls can get crazy on Morning Blend. They can, but that was from years ago. A little skit that we did to show how crazy it can get. But that's not new, and I don't know why it's circulating. Stephen, did you do this?
It's weird because it's like
so old. It's what, almost 5
in 2017, right? And it's a video that somebody took the audio off of it, so nobody knows who did it, which is I did it. And now somebody has put a new video over the
that's a different
audio from my video, and it's like
with puppets.
Well, from Crank Yankers.
From Crank
because
Yankers.
If you're gonna steal all the way, right?
Right.
And
that's
weird.
that part, but the voice note thing, I don't know what's going on. But,
It's not a voice note.
so you're saying that someone's just got the audio from the video with the puppets from Crank Yankers?
No.
Huh? What's happening?
Somebody that I created in 2017,
And put
because
it to
all
the
of that
Crank
is fake.
Yankers. Right.
Then they ripped the audio off of it because they're like, well, I don't want to show Steven's ugly face listening to the radio. And then somebody else decided, oh, this audio is cool. It needs video. And then they attach video that they stole from somewhere else on top of the audio.
Right.
Like,
So which one
cool.
came first, the video or the stolen video or the audio that's going around, the clips that are being sent around to everyone on the planet?
The stolen audio came first, and then the stolen video on top of the audio.
All right. So, I don't know the people who are sending me the videos listen to the show, but if you do, or the audio, hey, it's not real. It's a skit from years ago.
It's fine,
years ago. But you don't have to send it to me. I've heard, yeah.
Of course you heard it. You
Right.
read it.
And, but, hey, it was a joke, but...
Are you
also,
upset?
I'm
Why
not
are you
upset. I received it 25 times yesterday.
I'm upset because people in former work groups are sharing the voice note, and I'm like, oh, that's my video, and no one is like,
no, nobody cares.
Of course,
But
No,
hey,
like, no.
the sad thing is that could happen, and we've had many mornings like that here on the show, because that is how some people are when they call. It truly is. We almost went there today. People talking about all kinds of things after they do what we're talking about.
I can start teething people audio too.
No,
Might as well.
don't do that. Don't do that.
And that's what we learned from today's show.
It's best to teeth?
Teeth because the government.
Teeth until you can't teeth no more.
Right.
Okay. Now, remember earlier I said exercise good judgment because of the COVID, and right? Somebody sent a message to me saying, did you exercise good judgment when you did that fake audio? I'm like, wow. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's get back.
It wasn't fake audio. It was a video.
Okay. Yes. Here's some other text messages. Someone says, oh, I'm glad Stephen is back. Always look forward to his Fridays with Stephen. Now, as it relates to Fred Smith, QC, and Rights Bahamas' court battle to stop the government's removal of shantytowns in Abaco, I look forward to the court ruling. For if and when they succeed in stopping the government from moving shantytowns, then it will set a precedent where we can just form a big grouping, find any big vacant piece of land, and one just build up to code. Then bravo, we can now build for free, no more buying land, and certainly no more big real estate commission fee. Yippee. Well, try it. Try it. I advise you to wear some flags from some other places if you're going to do it.
No, the issue. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think that you need to be from another place. What you need to be is politically connected.
Oh.
Right? And a lot of people.
That's flags from another place.
All right, because they're not Bahamian flags. F&M and POP flags is something else. I don't know what that is. But anyway, the whole point is, at the end of the day, a lot of people are upset at the people living in these communities who are, like I said, if you want to be exploited like they're being exploited, do so, right? The reason why this is happening is because somebody who is a private individual has decided to profit off of persons, right? That is all that is happening here. That's it.
Wow.
And it's like the minute people stop making money off of other people's misery, people will stop suffering. But as long as we can make money doing the least amount of work and profiting off of people's misery, we will continue to have places that are essentially one-room shacks in the middle of this island with no running water, no toilets, and then politicians go in there and saying, I've been here for 4 decades, vote for me again.
Because I just put a new pump down the street for you.
And it's a hand pump because I'm the Speaker of the House of Assembly.
Well, you didn't, you didn't have to go there. But yes. Okay.
It ain't just because a lot of people think, oh, I'm attacking the POP. I am attacking every horrible.
Okay.
Everybody who doesn't care about human.
We know it's on both sides. Both sides.
Right. And I fear that if some parties get in, it'll be on all 3 sides.
Oh, dear.
Because it is not an issue that is as simple as only Stephen thinks this way, only Dwight thinks this way. It is an issue of class. There are persons who have been given so much in their life that they don't understand why these people don't do X, Y, and Z, and all they see the people is as an opportunity to make money.
Wow.
They don't see it as anything else. That is not a human being. That is somebody for me to, that is a thing for me to exploit their labor.
Yeah. Here's another.
Like, we need to address that.
Yeah. Here's another text. A lot of people are going to be watching this case closely because they, as they said in that previous text,
Dwight, because
I think they're going to be sadly mistaken if they think this will apply to them.
Dwight, this has happened before. Inside the Joe Farrington Road shanty town, quote unquote. Remember when the houses down there 5 years ago?
Yeah.
This is like when the old F&M was in power, they started knocking down houses, knocked down 2 and then stopped because legal action was happening.
All right, let's take this call and then want to read this text. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Doing well. Good morning.
Morning.
Let me ask a quick question.
Go ahead.
Is building shanty towns against the law?
I assume.
So,
I mean, by definition.
Stephen, why doesn't the landowners being prosecuted? And then what you're saying,
That's a great
the
question.
exploitation. If the landowners have been, were being dragged before the courts, I don't think we'll have any shanty towns. So the first thing we need to do is
find the landowners.
Pardon me?
The first thing we need to do is find the landowners.
That's the easy thing. If you can't find the landowners, most of those land were crown land. They could be taken back by the government. Simple. That's a simple fact. All right, give them a certain time, put it in the papers. I used to find them otherwise.
They know exactly who the landowners are, and
that's what I'm saying, sir, because they have a record of who owns those lands.
Yeah.
And you know why they wouldn't do it?
And if those persons don't come forward, take back the land. Simple. Right. That's a simple thing. Okay?
Now caller, let me ask you a question.
Listen to me, Stephen. There is no excuse. I don't care what you say about shanty towns in the Bahamas today. Okay? Now, maybe 20, 30 years ago, fine. But now, you know what's our problem? Do you realize right now in the Bahamas, if you really look at it, there are more shanty towns. I'm not saying illegal Haitians. I'm speaking about shanty towns in general. There are more shanty towns throughout the Bahamas than any other place in this country. Okay? And I think right now, at this modern day and time, governments need to bite the bullet. And whoever they're gonna regularize, and let's start all over again, eh?
All right, thanks a lot.
This saga will continue.
Thank you very much. I want to read this text really quickly as we go to the break. Someone says, I have about to change the tin roof to asphalt shingles. The Ministry of Works told me that I need an approved plan and a building permit in order to proceed with the project. No problem. But after listening to Fred Smith's argument, I feel like proceeding without an approved plan and a building permit, and I will wait patiently for the ruling of the case. Oh, boy. Okay.
I hope you're politically connected.
We're going to take a break for news and be back with more. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio.
I'm one of the greatest, ain't no debating on it. I'm still levitated, I'm heavily medicated. Ironic, I gave him love and they end up hating on me. She told me she loved me and she been waiting. Been fighting hard for your love and I'm running thin on my patience. Needing someone to hug, even took it back to the basics. You see what you got me out here doing? Might have threw me off, but can't nobody stop the movement.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Health officials warning of a marked increase in COVID-19 cases on some islands. It's Friday, March 26, 2020. You're listening to the Guardian News Network Morning Report. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news, health officials are raising the alarm over what they call a marked increase in COVID cases and hospitalizations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Abaco since January of this year. Since January 2nd, there have been 1,072 new cases recorded in this country, 599 on New Providence, 258 on Grand Bahama, and 102 on Abaco. Total cases are now just shy of 9,000 at 8,986. Of the 33 cases recorded just Wednesday, 21 were on New Providence, 8 on Grand Bahama, 2 on Abaco, and 1 on Eleuthera. Health officials call the increase disconcerting. And with an extended Easter holiday weekend looming, sure to bring more people together, they are appealing to Bahamians to avoid social gatherings, maintain adequate social distancing, wash hands frequently, and wear a mask. Now, while the latest COVID update from the Ministry of Health also advises Bahamians that COVID vaccines are available, the National Vaccine Committee indicates that all slots for vaccination appointments at Loyola Hall and Church of God here in New Providence are now filled. Only persons who have an appointment can show up for vaccinations, and there's no indication when that will change. The committee confirms more than 5,000 people have now received their first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine in this country. Vaccination of healthcare workers, members of the uniformed branches, and those over 65 will continue on Grand Bahama. PAHO has also now said that the first shipment of the AstraZeneca vaccine from its COVAX facility should arrive in this country in early April. In other news, 177 Shantytown residents continued their legal battle yesterday to halt demolition of their homes, calling government's demolition policy dictatorial and overarching. Jared Higgs was in court as that hearing got underway.
Those Shantytown residents allege that government Shantytown demolition plans amounted to an attempt to eliminate ethnic Haitian minority communities and have them integrated into Bahamian communities. They also claim that Shantytowns are healthy, livable neighborhoods and not illegal about the communities. Smith got to the judicial review and constitutional motion proceedings underway, relying heavily on minutes from a meeting of the Shantytown Action Task Force on January 3, 2018, to argue that the task force, headed up by Labour Minister Dion Folks, had a cabinet mandate to eliminate Shantytowns on New Providence and the Family Islands. He also pointed to comments by Works Minister Desmond Bannister made to reporters where he said government is committed to eradicating Shantytowns. Smith argued that the policy is problematic because government does not own the land, evidenced by comments by the Labour Minister, and therefore has no immediate right to the land. Therefore, Smith says government can't evict people from the land, nor can they make the landlords evict their tenants. Smith told the court that the policy affects 20,000 Shantytown residents, and the case is an important one on protecting the rule of law. He argued that the policy was too general and compared it to police surrounding a community and searching every home for drugs. He says the decision maker, whether the minister or Ministry of Works official, ought to put their mind to each resident's circumstances. Another issue raised was the description of the communities as unregulated. The Shantytown residents argued that regulated communities or subdivisions are a recent development in the Bahamas, and historically, people built in clusters around the country. Speaking about the homes in Shantytown, Smith says they aren't shacks or homes on the side of the road. He says they've been around for decades. Turning to the Over the Hill project that lists social and economic empowerment as objectives, Smith argued that the policy toward Haitian ethnic communities was discriminatory compared to other Over the Hill communities with similar features. He questioned why a similar plan was not made for ethnic Haitian communities. The applicants further criticized the policy's plans to have shelters open to house people who were displaced. He also contended that the residents of the Shantytowns were not consulted prior to notices to vacate being posted in communities, and they had a legitimate expectation that they should have been consulted. Smith says a survey conducted didn't ask the residents how the policy would impact them. Back in August 2018, Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson granted an injunction preventing government from proceeding with planned demolition exercises and disconnection of utilities in Shantytowns. Respect Our Homes Limited and the 177 Shantytown residents are seeking to prove that government's policy is unlawful, unconstitutional, and motivated by ethnic discrimination. The case was adjourned to tomorrow, where attorney Fred Smith QC will continue making his case. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I am Jared Higgs.
After a $100 million plus investment from government in the Grand Lucayan Resort, the Lighthouse Point Hotel reopened yesterday. Jillian Gray reports on the expensive comeback.
It was a day Grand Lucayan hotel workers have been waiting on for months.
A ray of hope, that's what it feels like.
And it's good to be back to work. It is good to be back doing what you love.
Latoya Stewart has worked in the tourism industry for 15 years and says after not serving guests for quite some time, she was on cloud nine seeing the first guests walk through the door.
Came here to bring my family on a little quick vacation, try to bring some normalcy back to life. Chose to come to the Bahamas. It's not too far away from Miami.
Leighton Brown says the process to bring his family over was smooth. The Miami residents are looking forward to fun in the sun over the next 4 days. And if they're looking for more to do, front desk associate Maurice Hall says he's happy to help with that, as one of the bonuses to the hotel being back in business is the fact that tours and local attractions also get some business.
It's kind of a sign of things getting back to how they were before in terms of pre-COVID and everything like that. So I feel like this is a good step in the right direction for what's to come later on throughout this year. I'm pretty sure everyone was excited to see the first guest opening because there was lots of things in the news previously about the hotel and everything and the speculation of it opening up. So it was definitely an exciting feeling, kind of a relief to see them walk through and still have those same smiling faces of people excited to come back here on the island.
Randy Strachan has always worked in the tourism industry, but it's his first day with the resort. Heads in beds now means that Strachan can provide for his family.
It means a lot to me, especially to my family, having the ability to come out and work and put bread on the table. It's awesome.
About 5 families are checked in thus far, and front desk manager Anitha Cooper says more should be on their way. From the beach to the pool, fine dining to an extensive bar menu, Cooper is encouraging Bahamians around the country to come and experience the Grand Lucayan.
We're definitely encouraging domestic travelers. So those persons in Nassau, you're welcome to come. We have this space. We have a wonderful resort, beautiful amenities. Our restaurants are phenomenal. The food is exquisite. It's really, really an experience that you would want to experience for yourself.
For the Guardian News Network, I'm Jillian Gray.
29-year-old Joel Griffin is now in prison awaiting sentencing after he pleaded guilty yesterday to a charge of indecent exposure for exposing his genitals to an 11-year-old girl while she was on her way to school Wednesday morning. The court has not yet accepted his plea. It's expected that on April 1st, the prosecutor will read into the court record the summary of evidence that would have been presented at a trial. If Griffin accepts that summary, the magistrate will proceed to sentencing. Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt is hearing that case. Well, police say a 14-year-old boy is in their custody after allegedly selling marijuana in his fellow schoolmates, some of whom ended up sick in hospital as a result. Police say 7 students at the S.C. McPherson Junior High School who admitted consuming the laced Rice Krispie cereal treats fell ill and had to seek medical treatment. Police say the 14-year-old suspect will be charged in connection to that incident, possibly today. Stay with us. There's more news after the break.
At Apex Award Signs and Engraving, the name says it all. The country's trusted name for trophies, plaques, corporate seals, rubber stamps, badges, bumper stickers, traffic and street signs, keychains, t-shirts, interior signs, restaurant menus, and so much more. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 128 Mount Royal Avenue in Wilton Street. Open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and 9 to 1 on Saturdays. Visit the website at apexawardsbahamas.com. Apex Award Signs and Engraving, number 1 in the Bahamas.
I've been at my Penny the other day, and Penny said, Lampkin, I really don't like to brag, but when I look at this showroom, I realize this is the best around. What do you say? I say, your modesty is mind-blowing. And right, it really allows you to see the tiles, whether they be ceramic, porcelain, marble, quartz, or granite. Penda's displays allow you to see the product, uncluttered by a gazillion pieces. If you'd like to see clearly what you plan to walk on for the rest of your life, may I suggest you visit Penda Tile on Prince Charles Drive.
Shoppers who know value really know super value and quality supermarkets. Rainbow tuna, 5-ounce can, 69 cents. Alberto mayonnaise, 32-ounce jar, $2.29. Mott's apple juice, 1 gallon, $6.99. Barra's classic or chicken franks, 12-ounce pack, 2 for $3. Panami raw shrimp, $31.40, 1 pound bag, $6.99. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. with double stamps on Sundays. Super value and quality supermarkets.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online state-of-the-art functionality, the choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
So, Gianna, how often have you been flossing? Well, you know that's not enough. And are you still working over at the daycare? Okay. How's Franklin? Haven't seen him at the club. I see. How are your boys doing? Okay. Sounds good. Now you just tell me if this hurts. Oh boy. Did I ever tell you about the shark I found in my pool?
With 99% of medical claims paid in under 5 days, we're like a dentist that doesn't try to talk to you with your mouth full.
Sounds good.
CG Atlantic. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Atlantic Medical Insurance Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Coral Pension Services Bahamas Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Pensions. And Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Welcome back. The Democratic National Alliance last night released a slate of about 18 candidates who will run on the party's ticket in the next general election. Party leader Orinthia Komalafi is set to contest the Carmichael seat. Chairman Omar Smith is seeking to challenge the Prime Minister in Killarney. The party shifted gears briefly, returning to its political agenda after the controversial arrest of 9 of its leaders earlier this week for questioning as police investigate a claim of unlawful assembly against them. In other news, the Office of the Judiciary is celebrating the official rollout of DigiPay in the courts. Considered the future of revenue collection in the government, the DigiPay platform allows for cashless transactions across government agencies. Georgia Bain reports.
The judiciary, joining the Department of Immigration, which fully implemented the DigiPay platform in October 2020. Chief Justice Sir Brian Morey called the move monumental.
Now, and court users will no longer have to provide checks or cash when filing documents in those courts. And members of the public will not have to carry large amounts of cash when paying fines. DigiPay is a significant upgrade of the court service platform, as we in the judiciary seek to improve our business processes to bring them in line with the expectations of court users. We want the business dealings with the courts and the use of our public access points to be comparable with competitive standards in the private sector.
The new payment system is currently available at the Magistrates Court, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court in New Providence. According to Morey, the judiciary is working with the Ministry of Finance to have the DigiPay platform extended to the courts on Grand Bahama. He added this new payment system will enhance online tracking, checking the status of hearings and court dates, and introduce e-filing.
The direct benefits for the public of all these initiatives, and many more to come, will include easier and more convenient access to court services, the reduction of the for court dates, the proactive and focused case management by judicial officers, which will reduce the number of adjournments and delays. 4, the reduction of the amount of time it takes to complete cases.
Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson said the platform uses industry standards to ensure all payment information is safe.
Process is just as safe as any other established entity you would use your credit and debit card with. So we this isn't that element of it. We use industry standards in respect of that. So none of the information is stored. For example, in any of the databases. It's all passed through just for verification. And so the issue of us storing data and someone breaking in and taking data just simply would not arise by virtue of the construct of the platform.
Asked if the new system could eliminate cashier jobs in the courts, Maurice said no.
The answer is no. I don't expect that will happen. However, what will happen is that there will have to be a fairly significant retraining and retooling of skill sets that will have to take place in the judiciary specifically. But we are at the moment very understaffed in the judiciary.
Since immigration implemented the DigiPlay platform last year, 23,812 payments have been made over the new system. Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Everything the Home Improvement Store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Don't wait for disaster to strike. This hurricane season, be ready. Protect your home with an affordable and comprehensive home insurance policy from Shield Insurance. You can't control what nature blows your way, but with Shield Insurance, you can rest easy as you ride out the storm. Protect your largest and most valuable investment. Don't take a chance. Put your home in our hands.
Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau. Call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
Give me my pizza right away. Gotta move quick, no time to wait. No long lines inside the place. Little Caesars, I love the taste. Hot and ready. Just come now, you don't have to call, now you don't have to wait. Hot and ready. Large pepperoni, $7.99 every day. Hot and ready. Oh, yeah. Straight out the oven and freshly made. Hot and ready. Little Caesars is hot and ready. Little Caesars is. Get yours now at Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, and now East Street South, Pineapple Plaza. Pizza.
What made you jump off the boat onto Porterski and make a beeline to Sun Isles? Tell Miss Wallace them, I need a battery for this, a battery for that, and a battery for this. You got them? She say, man, you joking? I'll put a battery in you too. Major say, you mean you can still energize this old bunny? She say, man, we'll give you one good overall service, lubricate your 21 joules, then jumpstart your lithium battery, man, you'll be good as new. Major say, well, I didn't know you could do all of that. She say, well, of course I can, because that's the kind of me I am.
Sun Isles Watch & Clock, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watch & Clock sales and repairs for over 40 years.
Cancer, we push back, challenging conventional thinking, finding smarter solutions. That's what makes Cancer Treatment Centers of America one of the leaders in precision cancer treatment, using tools like advanced genomic testing and immunotherapy to bring more options to our patients. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. We're not just fighting cancer anymore. We're outsmarting it. Visit cancercenter.com/outsmart to learn more.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Tuberculosis, or TB, is an airborne disease that mainly affects the lungs. When people infected with TB cough, sneeze, sing, or laugh, droplets with the bacteria that causes TB can be released into the air and may affect others. Some people are at higher risk of developing the disease if exposed to the TB bacteria. If you were in close contact with someone with active TB disease, recently traveled to a country where TB is common, have uncontrolled diabetes, have HIV/AIDS, are malnourished, live or work in a hospital, prison, or nursing home, or are a child under the age of 5 years old who was in contact with someone with active TB, you may be in the tuberculosis high-risk group. Contact your healthcare provider or the Ministry of Health's Tuberculosis Surveillance Unit immediately at 502-4728 or 502-4803. Tuberculosis is preventable and curable. The clot TB.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
Business travel just got easier with the Alive Corporate Business Plan. Check your messages, check on the staff, or simply keep your emails in check. When traveling on business, you'll have the confidence in managing your office, staying in touch with your team, vendors, and customers. You can roam like you've never left your office with the all-new suite of Alive Liberty Executive Plans. For more information, contact the experts at Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Call 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands today.
This traffic report brought to you by Shield.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 and Facebook is facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 4224796. And now at 8:22, it's time for another check of weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening as we head into the weekend. We've got a strengthening ridge of high pressure extending across the islands that will continue to dominate the weather across the country through tonight. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas are being advised to exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern shorelines. For all areas today, forecast mostly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with a light passing shower, turning fair and breezy tonight. A small craft caution is in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. 76 degrees right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will persist as it continues to generate locally strong winds across the area into the weekend. So for tomorrow, Saturday, look for partly sunny to sunny, warm and breezy conditions with a chance of a few isolated showers. Sunday, mostly sunny, warm, and very breezy with a chance of isolated showers. That's your Morning Blend weather check. Brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us. And at 8:23, time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. We've got some hot spots, a number of hot spots for you this morning, areas that are seeing heavy congestion at this time. Tomorrow Bullet Highway, as usual, one of those. From south of Fire Trail all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway, the northbound lane, seeing heavy traffic. You're not going to be moving much at this hour. And that traffic is backed up onto Fire Trail Road as well, eastbound at this hour. Gladstone Road, also busy, northbound, heading towards JFK Drive. Carmichael Road, westbound, heading towards Coral Harbor Road, heavy traffic there. And building traffic on Carmichael, eastbound, heading towards Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill Road, as usual, busy, especially north of Soldier Road. The northbound lanes heading towards Independence Drive, and Independence Drive seeing some heavy traffic as well, westbound towards that roundabout with Blue Hill Road. Soldier Road, eastbound to East Street, and further east towards Windsor Place. You're going to be seeing heavy traffic there. Some other hot spots: Marathon Road, northbound, Bernard Road, westbound, and Eastern Road, westbound. Then along Prince Charles Drive, Prince Charles, as you get closer to Fox Hill Road. We've got some heavy traffic coming out of Fox Hill, northbound, towards that intersection. Remember, on Prince Charles, once you get west of Fox Hill Road, there's a single lane traffic in both directions. Lanes are closed as they continue with the resurfacing of the road in that area. Prince Charles and Beatrice Avenue and Prince Charles Soldier Road, Robinson Road, and Old Trail and Robinson and the intersection with East-West Highway and Marathon Road busy this morning as well. So a number of hot spots, including West Bay Street near Arawak Key, also seeing heavy traffic. It's going to be an interesting commute for you this morning. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend Traffic Alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank.
is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna on this Friday morning. I think it's best if we move on from that topic. We're not going to get anywhere with that. We clearly we know where people. No, yeah, okay. We've been talking about the same thing for 40 years, I think.
We can solve it.
Yeah.
In the next 30 minutes.
Okay. Well.
Very easy.
Well.
Can I just say, and this also goes to your offline comments.
Well, I want to get into that, actually. I do want to get into that.
I mean, okay. Well, that you can't. Okay, so one of the symptoms of COVID is a cough, right? You don't solve COVID by giving people cough medicine. You have to address the COVID, all right? And so it's like, you can't just be like, oh, take some cough syrup so you stop coughing and then just send them outside. No, it's not that simple. Mm-hmm. And I think what is happening is, we're not addressing the problem. We're addressing the symptoms of the problem, and we're not going to the source of the issue, right? And it's like, and until we get to the source, and a situation like this has a lot of different elements at play that got us to this point.
I was going to say.
And so it's like, we need to address all of those issues, and suddenly we'll see a whole different country.
And all those issues are still at play and not really being addressed.
That's
so we will
continue.
Right, we will continue to have this challenge with these shantytown communities because we're not getting to the root.
Because when you look at it, Dwight, there's a reason why people are saying, "Oh, these people living on Crown land and these places used to be Crown land." You know how hard it is to get Crown land inside this country, Dwight?
It's difficult.
It's incredibly difficult.
Yep.
You have to be Tugi and Bobo to get it, right? Because they don't. I'm just saying, it's very, very hard, right? And it's in the office of the Prime Minister. Do with that whatever you wish, right? But the whole point is, if you have access to Crown land in one way or another, you are connected.
All right.
Now we come from that point all the way down to people are renting parcels of land from persons who were given land to farm on. And it's like, there's a myriad of issues here.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to leave that right there. I want to read this text, and then we're going to get to the issue. And I wanted to get deeper on Monday. On Monday, when we have some actual people who can provide real clarity on it, as opposed to folks giving out their opinions. But before I get to that topic, let me read this text, because this one really... Why does it appear, Dwight, that when you're in the process of reading a text and you reach a point in the text where it's expressing something negative about Brave Davis, your voice immediately goes inaudible, or the comment often follows, I don't understand what the texter is saying? Is that a coincidence, or is it me? It could be both. But also, a lot of the text messages we get about people when they mention the names, some of the things I really can't read. And so that's when you'll hear me. For legal reasons. I don't need to be sued. The station doesn't want to be sued. I'm not trying to protect people. It's just like, wait, this claim is kind of wild.
You are
I'm
trying to
not
protect people.
Going well.
The people
Try-
is Dwight Strachan.
right, and the people who own Guardian Radio, right?
Oh, they
So some of you really should be ashamed of yourselves with the text messages you send. Obviously, you don't want them to be read. You're just sending them to be facetious, funny, cruel. I don't know what, but I can't read everything you send us, and I'm not going to do it.
That's why you need to tune into Morning Blend After Dark, where we read all your unedited text messages.
your wicked text messages. Okay, so if you were hoping I was going to say it's because I love him, he's our hero. Not quite, but not quite. But I'm sure he's a wonderful, wonderful person.
You don't. I realize you don't play my song.
Which song is that?
I have a whole election song.
Oh, okay.
It's in the system.
Yeah. All right. That's a very long text here. Now let's get to what I wanted to talk about. We'll talk about it later, Stephen. All right. So we did talk about it yesterday, and I noticed by the things I was hearing from people yesterday. And this wasn't new. We heard this before. We know about the land that's been allocated for young people off Carmichael, right? That didn't get much attention. People, right?
They didn't get much attention because it doesn't. That's a very complicated situation there. That's another.
I heard a theory that it's because it's Carmichael and certain people feel a certain type of way about Carmichael.
As a person who is applying for one of these parcels of land that the government promised, I was told offhandedly by one of the people at housing that, those are out, those are already subscribed. I don't know how. That's what the person told me.
The Carmichael ones?
Maybe they're wrong. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, does that include you as an applicant or potential applicant?
No, like they're already, when I put in my application, a month later, I call in to check and they're like, oh, those are already.
Oh, so you missed out. That's what they're telling you?
Right, which I don't know how it's possible. But that, once again, maybe the person was wrong. Maybe they misspoke.
All right, so I don't want to reveal your business on the air, but didn't you say that you were asked to provide some financial documents and stuff?
Yeah.
So they asked you for that and then afterward told you it's already subscribed?
No, listen. This is what happened. The Prime Minister said something in December about lots going to young people, right?
Yes.
I applied the week after he said that.
Right.
I brought in all the stuff.
Yes.
I heard nothing back from the department. In January, I messaged them and they say, oh, it is up to me to call in every month to double check. Okay. Then that's when the price kept changing, right? Because they wasn't sure which person.
15 or 50, right?
It started at 15, then it went, then other people were saying it was 20, not housing. Housing was like, we don't know what the price is, so don't quote us on that.
Very nice.
Right? Then what happened was they're like, the ones in Carmichael, all of them gone. That was what she said offhandedly. All right? So we moved from there. She says, you got to call it every month to double check to see if anything is available. That's on you. That is the policy. So I say, okay, cool. Now the Prime Minister announces this. It's a whole different location. It's a whole different price point. And there's also a whole different set of requirements.
Well, at the time, he did say there was going to be another one in Western New
Providence.
Providence.
There are going to be 3.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to figure out, well, technically, Carmichael is west of everybody else.
Sure. But okay, so I'm really confused. So what?
You think it's you.
Okay, wow.
Confused.
Anyway, on that.
Regardless.
We'll talk about
if
that.
If I could get a sliver of land inside the dump at this point, I would take it, right? Because honestly, the country that we live in, the last 2 times not the last 2 times. 2 of the times that low-cost housing was available was Yellow Elder and Pinewood, both swampland. Then you had Millennium Gardens and I guess a couple of others.
There've been a few others. Yeah.
Right.
Since then.
But the thing is, it is few and far between.
Yeah, there's not many.
Right. So when the opportunity comes, I would rather not play politics and be like, oh, this what they giving us or nope. Listen, the next time this is going to happen, I will probably be in my 60s. So let me try to get it now while it is available. Now,
All right.
I think that brings us to where you are at.
Right. So now the Prime Minister this week tabled the resolution for this, made the resolution for the 83 acres of land located between, just north of JFK Drive, between Prospect Ridge and the Ministry of Public Works. Right? He said the government has identified several tracts of land within the western area of New Providence to develop as upscale communities where young Bahamian professionals will be able to purchase lots of approximately 95 by 100 feet for $50,000. He said the government will put all the infrastructure in place such that lots would be worth about $150,000 with all the infrastructure installed. 40% of the lots will be multifamily, available for purchase at $50,000, and 60% of the lots will be single family, sold for $40,000. Prime Minister said a number of the banks have said that once they determine the land is worth $150,000 or more, the equity is such a vast amount that individuals would not have to come up with any down payment to construct their homes. He said they will not be required to pay stamp tax either, and they will be exempted from paying real property tax for 2 years. He said the government will provide designs for 10 different building models. People will be able to purchase those designs for $1,000, thus not needing to pay architectural fees. According to the Prime Minister, the purchase of land in the community will be limited to people between the ages of 18 and 45. He said the government will waive customs duty on all building materials and appliances for homes within the community. And he said the community will feature walking paths, 2 parks, a community center, swimming pool, and will be eco-friendly with minimal change to the existing topography of the land. He also noted that the construction of homes will need to be completed within 2 years of purchase and that flipping of the property will not be allowed. The government will be given the first right of refusal. So, quote, first offer. He said it was his government's goal to provide accessible and affordable land for young Bahamians. Okay, so
I have my only issue is that 2 years to finish, but
yeah. You don't have to come up with a down payment, though. You're good to go. You're getting a lot of discounts, customs duty. That's huge. Customs.
Yeah, but you still have to bill, I'm just saying 2 years to bill is really expedited. Like, the government can't bill that in 2 years. So,
well, okay. I don't know about that. But, this is why you need.
Once again, I'm saying I'm happy for it all. Mm-hmm. My only concern is that issue.
I mean, I think if you've made great progress and you're not quite done in 2 years, someone's going to say, "Oh, you're forfeited." With the house half done. Like, no, you'll be okay. At least you made some attempts. You're pretty much almost there. You'll be done in 2.5 years. Great, I suspect. But okay, so that sounds pretty decent. A lot of people, a lot of us would have wished, boy, when I was looking, that would have been great. But I heard a lot of people yesterday who are very angry about this.
I did too. And I was trying to call you. And I was like, what is happening? Why? What are these people upset about? Because
and we heard a little bit this morning about a caller was talking about, what about the poor people?
And here's the thing, Dwight. I agree with the caller to some extent on that. But what I don't agree with is that we have something that could work for part of the population. We need to throw that away because it doesn't work for everybody. You're never going to get something that works for everybody. We have something that's working or that could work. Let's try this. And let's also try something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's nothing wrong with saying the same way. I don't know if you remember a couple of years back, they had lots for, I want to say they reserved them for teachers and armed forces. And it was like $7,000 or something. Like, it was a ridiculously low number. Right? And it's like, I'm okay with that. When that happened, I wasn't like, but I ain't fair. How come police get it? They just get all the gals on the line? I ain't fair. Like, no one said that. Because
okay.
It's like,
all right, let's get the calls in to hear what people are saying. Here's a text here. Someone says, giving lots to citizens by age is radically discriminatory. If it's on the basis of first-time ownership only, then it's fine. What qualifies a 25-year-old over a 45-year-old who is struggling to buy a first home? And if you're not a professional, are you not a citizen? Okay.
Well, first of all, a 45-year-old still falls into the category of being able to get this. Like you're cut out because you're 45. If you're 46, the government feels like by now you should have been able to figure out something with your life.
Although we know that's challenging in this country.
It is
for some,
challenging.
right? For some people.
And maybe there will be something for persons between the age of 46 and 60.
A senior citizens home
The
type
same
place.
way where there's always two type of small business grants in this country. There's one, at least before SPDC, it used to be one for people under the age of 25 and one for people over the age of 25.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about this before. I suspect the professionals thing is to prevent land grabbing, right? So you can't be with a development company and buy the land. They need you to show that you are somebody who's working, an individual, not tied to a company that's going to try to make profit off this. I suspect that's what's going on here. Now, they're not telling you what type of profession, but as long as you are working. And, right? But let's get...
Professional just means that you work.
Right.
You could be a plumber. A plumber is a professional.
Yeah.
A garbage man is a professional.
They're not saying suit and tie people.
Right. But
You
for
know?
some reason, that's what people are hearing. People are hearing that's it. But anyway, whatever.
Let's hear what the callers are saying. Good morning, caller. You're in.
Yes, good morning again, sir.
Hi.
Now you on this topic, right?
Yes.
Yes. You know, what I don't understand, right, is you're selling one piece of land to say 15 to another set for $50,000, right? But so what is the government? What is this price about? The government's not buying this land, so
They're trying to raise
must
money.
be ground land, right? So therefore it must be the price for the infrastructure. So how does you have the difference of $15,000 worth of infrastructure? That's utilities now to $50,000. You understand what I'm saying? So how is it that the same people can't qualify, right? These same $40,000 land, $50,000 land isn't the same value as $50,000 in terms of cost to the government. You see, so that there alone is discrimination, and then you giving these people like $100,000 equity in the land free. You understand what I'm saying?
I suspect that this is a long con, right? Which is the government intends to be collecting real property tax from everybody inside this area.
But okay, so
because
let's go back to the bank now.
One second. Based by what the government is saying the land is worth, and you building on the land, you are almost definitely going to fall in the two, or like beyond the range of you don't have to pay real property. This is purposely going to be like everybody who live here has to pay real property tax.
You realize that the bank only wants that one. What's important to the bank is that $150,000 in equity and just the property alone, plus what they lend you for the house, right? And watch this now. You have multi-family units, so what that's saying. And then we live in an environment, you have young professionals promoting Airbnb in the Bahamas, and that's right around the corner from Cable Beach, right? Okay. So why can't a poor person have that same opportunity with a multi-family purpose unit, right? They don't even have to live in it. And so what you saying?
I'm saying that a poor person can't have the reason. That
do you want them to give the poor person the land? What do you say?
$15,000. These lands should be the same price, $15,000, because it's saying it. You understand me? These people, whoever purchases the land, still got to go and get a mortgage for the land. Just to buy the land. That's a down payment.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So where does an 18-year-old young person get $50,000? They say it starts from 18-year-old, years old, 50, 45-year-old. Where's the 18-year-old going to get $40,000? You're going to sell drugs, right?
Okay.
I doubt many 18-year-olds will get any of these, to be honest, because now that they're talking about forming a committee, it's clearly not going to be a first come, first serve basis.
Something's going on in this country, folks. Something is going on, and I'm very confused. All right, we got to move on because we have other topics to get into, but this is a couple people are sending this type of message. I love this. My only question is, can I purchase the land and build for my son? My own mortgage, but this is an awesome start for him. This is an excellent initiative. We got another person saying they want that for their daughter as well.
He can apply, and he has to go to the bank and get a pre-approval letter from the bank. Like, you cannot purchase the land. You can give him the money to purchase the land.
If you're under 45, it sounds like you can, but I don't know how you're going to work it out with your son.
Not if he already has a property. Like, it's for first-time homeowners is also in there somewhere. They're not going to give you a piece of property if you already have a condominium out west.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what age you are, right? The whole thing is, you can give the money to your son, I assume, so that he can apply for it. But he has to apply for it.
Yeah. Let's take this final call. We've got to move on. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight and Stephen.
Okay, got to make it snappy.
If it has to be snappy, Dwight, I'll just call back on the next side of your break, okay?
We're not going to be talking about this after that, though. So you say what you got to say really quick, Anton.
Okay. The low level of thinking from this government is not surprising to me at all. In 2017, it immediately took away concessions left in place by the former administration from persons to be able to access duty-free importation of material and goods needed to repair their homes and repair their roofs as a result of destruction from Hurricane Matthew, right? They immediately took away those concessions. Now we have a Dorian that took place on Abaco that destroyed Abaco completely and parts of Grand Bahama, right, extensively. And now we have a COVID-19 situation in place that has placed the entire country in a disarray, or a majority of the country in a disarray. I'm wondering, where are the concessions that the government is supposed to be offering for Bahamians who already have homes, who fall into the category of 18 to 45 and need that level of assistance or support in order to bring some level of normalcy to their life?
Are you talking about people who were in Grand Bahama and Abaco?
No, I'm
because
saying,
they still have those things.
I said to you, Dorian impacted those on Abaco and Grand Bahama. I said to you, COVID-19 impacted persons across the country, right? In that category, persons 18 to 45 were tremendously impacted who have homes currently. I'm wondering, where are the concessions for those persons who were impacted because they're unemployed, or because they've been furloughed, or because they're working under reduced hours or days, or whatever the circumstance may be. I'm wondering, where are the concessions that are being offered by the government
I
of
really don't understand what is. Those individuals know what they need to do. Talk to the people to whom you owe money and make arrangements. The government is not your parent, right? We all need to grow up around here. Come on now. Let's take a break. We're talking about You Be Fit after we get back.
So, Gianna, how often have you been flossing? Well, you know that's not enough. And are you still working over at the daycare? Okay. How's Franklin? Haven't seen him at the club. I see. How are your boys doing? Okay. Sounds good. Now you just tell me if this hurts. Oh boy, that's a doozy. Did I ever tell you about the shark I found in my pool?
With 99% of medical claims paid in under 5 days, we're like a dentist that doesn't try to talk to you with your mouth full.
Sounds good.
CG Atlantic. Insurance, health, pensions, life. Good like that. Atlantic Medical Insurance Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Coral Pension Services Bahamas Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Pensions. And Nassau Insurance Brokers and Agents Limited, trading as CG Atlantic Agents.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Get ready! The real March Madness is here! Up to 100% off store-wide at Alive! That's right! Devices, earbuds, tablets, and so much more with crazy slashed prices! Pay close attention to our social media pages. Visit any Alive location or visit bealive.com for the best deals on some of your favorite devices and accessories. That's March Madness going on now at Alive. Believe in best.
RBC and Visa bring you a benefit as unique as you to enjoy Disney Plus. Get 2 months of the all-new Disney Plus streaming subscription on us if you have an RBC Visa Platinum card. Learn more by visiting www.rbc.com/Caribbean/Disney. Reimagine new ways to bank better.
Meet Jackie. Jackie's a hard worker with a steady income, but she has a personal loan and multiple credit cards to pay off. To keep her account current, Jackie opted for a loan from Fidelity Bank to consolidate her debt into one monthly payment and earn interest on a built-in savings account. Be like Jackie. Call 356-7764 to book a complimentary financial coaching session. Fidelity also offers virtual assistance. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Imagine. That's where every advancement begins, with an idea that things can be different, better. Now, imagine a world where your entertainment experience was all about you, your style, your show, at your budget. At Rev, that's what we've imagined. To join the conversation and learn more about the future of Rev TV, visit us at rev.bs/imagine.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian, entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Stay a step ahead of technology with certainty and support from Custom Computers. Our know-how team is here to help you zero in on your next big tech purchase, finding solutions that take your productivity to the next level using only the best and most reliable brands. With 4 stores all across Nassau on East Bay, West Bay, Old Fort Bay, and Palmdale, there's no stopping you from stepping up your tech. Reach out to us at 396-1100. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
Your home is where your heart is, but it's more than just shelter. Your home is your workplace. Your home is school for your kids. Your home is even your happy place where you play. Get the best internet connection wherever you are with blazing fast speeds up to 300 megabits per second for as low as $99.99 and installation within 48 hours. Sign up for any of our fiber packages today and get a chance to win a free tablet in your second month. Call or WhatsApp 577-SHOP or 424-SHOP and sign up today. Conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna on this Friday. And changing gears now, UB Fit. UB Fit is back, but it's going virtual like almost everything else. Here to talk about this, we're very pleased to have back with us from the University of the Bahamas, Candice Eldon, and he's everywhere from BPL, Quincy Parker.
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Great to have you with us.
Oh, and Quincy.
And Quincy.
Good morning.
Thanks for having
Oh,
us.
now he's not talking. He's
morning.
been talking to me all during the break, scolding me and all kinds of horrible things he's been saying. But Quincy,
Oh, it's you too. He
oh,
threatens
you
you
too. Okay, Quincy, always a pleasure. Candice, we missed it last year, just as we were getting ready for UB Fit. Of course, the pandemic derailed
Yes.
everything. But you're back. You're back. But virtually, how are we going to do this virtually?
Well, good morning, Bahamas. Yes, last year we were all getting ready for UB Fit 2020. Then came Corona, the pandemic. We were shut down. And so unfortunately, we could not race. However, we've changed gears. We are following best practices that are happening around the world. And so UB Fit has gone virtual this year. We're happy to report that from the comfort of your treadmill, your neighborhood park, your community, you could run, walk, bike. Basically, if you have a tracking app on your phone or your watch, you can just log in your 3.1, which is a 5K, or your 6.2 for your 10K, submit your miles to us, and boom, you get your certificate, your medal, and you have completed virtual UB Fit safely.
Wow. Okay. That seems pretty simple. All right. So let's talk about BPL's involvement in this, Quincy. How you're part of this year?
BPL is delighted to once again be a sponsor of UB Fit. We sponsored the very first edition. I believe, Ms. Allen, is that correct?
Yes, from 2017, sir.
Indeed, and have remained partnered with UB Fit since its inception, and we are extremely proud to be founding partners of this initiative. In fact, I believe we won the last 2 years that the race was live in terms of the number of people participating from corporate Bahamas. Is that right, Candace?
I can definitely attest to one run that BPL had the most participants, and it could be two. I'll have to check my records, but yes,
I have two plaques. I have 2 plaques on my desk, so I'm pretty sure it's 2.
Yes, BPL has been a longstanding partner of UB Fit, and we're very grateful to them, as well as our title sponsor, Oak Tree Medical Center.
Excellent.
Yes, so we're not talking about Oak Tree Medical Center today. We're talking about BPL.
So the plaques are on your desk, Quincy. Did you take part in the UB Fit?
As a matter of fact, I did.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't go to everybody who was there.
Oh my God!
I was asking.
It's a floating trophy.
As I was about to say before I was so rudely interrupted by the peanut gallery, there's a very strong tradition of fitness and participation in in road races and fitness competitions at BPL. Our folks love to run or walk or bike. And so we are looking forward to robust participation again this year. My understanding, Stephen, is that it's not a floating trophy. It is every year or every iteration of the race. It's whoever wins, they get a nicely engraved piece of paraphernalia that says, "Hey, this one's for you." So no, it's not a floating trophy. But even if it were, that floating trophy would never leave the environs of Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited. Yes, Oak Tree, I'm looking at you. Yes, BTC, I'm looking at you.
Wow.
Yes, Corporate Bahamas, I'm looking at you. BPL is going to win as usual. Because we win.
You guys gonna take
all
that?
day, every day.
I hear
all
that.
we do is win, win, win.
Now the money goes to great causes, of course, at UB. Tell us more about that.
Of course, yes.
Absolutely. So this year, funds raised will support our COVID-19 Technology Relief Fund and our annual fund. Basically, last year when we had to go virtual, many of our students cried out and said, we don't have laptops. We don't have the technology that we need at home. Many of them rely heavily on our library, and because we were closed, they were unable to successfully complete many of their courses. And so the COVID-19 Technology Relief Fund is raising funds for this cause. We have 660 students that applied. We have the technology giveaway in the Christmas, and we just had one yesterday in Grand Bahama. all the money that we're raising is really to support initiatives at University of the Bahamas to help make the lives of our students easier.
All right, that is excellent. All right, so again, remind us of the registration process, what you need to do, and give us some of those dates that are going to be important to remember.
Absolutely. So UBFit Virtual will take place the 9th to the 11th of April. You can register online at ubfit.ub.edu.bs, or you can just walk into Chapter 1 Bookstore and register, or the UB North Campus Business Office. It's only $25. We still have swag. Dwight, I hope you sign up. I know you're a faithful supporter of UBFit. I have photographs of you. Our swag bag this year, you're going to get a Dry Fit t-shirt, paraphernalia from our title sponsor, Oak Tree Medical Center, and other great gifts from sponsors. So we really, really, really are asking Corporate Bahamas, our friends, our partners, and our 18,000 alumni to join us. You can do UBFit Virtual around the world, wherever you are, from your treadmill or from your backyard. It does not matter. We really appreciate the support. Yeah. Everybody is a winner this year, Stephen.
No, how do I win as an individual?
Well, we're not doing, because of the nature of the virtual space, everyone gets a participation medal. We're not timing it. We're not tracking it in the sense of first, second, and third this year. But guess what, Stephen? Get ready, keep practicing. We're going to hopefully go the usual route next year, and you have an opportunity to come first place in the 5K men's category.
All right. And it's still bike and push and skate. That's still a part of it this year, even though it's virtual, right?
Yes,
There's no drive category?
No, there's no drive category. No, you can bike, you can skate, you can push your child in a stroller. Those that are in wheelchairs, if their family members can push them. It's about mobility. It's about movement. It's about getting out there, and it's about take to stay active and fit. UBFit is here for you this year.
Mm-hmm. Excellent stuff.
Only the Flintstone kind of car, Stephen.
That's the
drive with your feet.
Could you say it again?
The Flintstone. That's a good one. That would be good.
Yeah.
That
Use
could
your
work.
feet.
That could work.
The way you said that, Dwight, it sounds like you were there when they were using that type of technology.
No, but I have watched the program, so I'm familiar with what they did. Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
If I could, I would like to interject very, very quietly and seriously that we think that this going virtual is incredibly cool. Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has forced all of us to adapt our business models, and we know that people continue to experience some frustrations when there are occasional outages, which we continue to work on. And I know that in particular, Mr. Hanna has his issues. The chance to evolve and push our business models forward into the new cutting edge, the bleeding edge of future technology is exciting to us at BPL. And so when we were told that UBFit is going virtual, we were like, oh, okay, that's awesome. How do we participate? So I wanted to congratulate the university for embracing the current moment and looking forward and being forward thinking and not retroactive, not reactive, but proactive.
Excellent stuff.
Candice in particular is leading the charge really well.
All right.
And I just wanted to say we're really proud to be a part of it.
Great stuff. Candice, there's a deadline coming up to register. Is that right?
Yes. March 29th is the deadline to register. And again, you can register quickly online today if you want to. You can come into Chapter 1 Bookstore or the UB North Campus. We'll be handing out race bags next week at Chapter 1 Bookstore. We really want to invite Corporate Bahamas, our friends, our partners to join us. We started in 2017. We've raised over $180,000 for the needs of the University of the Bahamas, and we can only continue to do that if we work together. And what better way to do it by getting fit?
Okay, excellent.
So thank you so much.
Give us that website again to register.
Yep, sure. ubfit.ub.edu.bs. Right at the top, there's a ticker saying register right now. You click on it, you go to our race prompt, and you're able to register right away. Packet pickup will start on Monday.
Excellent. Candice Eldon with the University of the Bahamas and Quincy Park with BPL. Thank you forward to UB Fit 2020 virtual.
Thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Stephen.
All right. Thank you.
Virtual, absolutely.
Stephen Hanna, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Talk with you next week. Is he gone already? Yeah?
No.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
I was talking. Clearly, they muted my mic.
Oh, all right. Excellent. Well, we'll talk with you next week. I'll be back in a few minutes, folks, with Morning Blend Business. We're talking about...
We started from the bottom. Now we're here at the top.
Oh, he's still talking too. All right. Architectural trends. When we come back, stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Health officials are concerned about a marked increase in COVID-19 cases across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Abaco since January. There were 33 new COVID cases just Wednesday, 21 on New Providence, 8 on Grand Bahama, 2 on Abaco, and 1 on Eleuthera. Health officials are appealing to residents to abide by COVID precautions, avoid social gatherings, and consider getting the COVID vaccine if they qualify. Well, the COVID vaccine committee says as of yesterday, over 5,000 residents have already received their first dose of the vaccine. But now all appointments for COVID vaccines at the Royal Hall and Church of God here in New Providence are filled. It's unclear when that will change. Only those who have already secured appointments are being allowed in. Who allegedly sold marijuana-infused Rice Krispie treats to other students. 7 of those students at the S.C. McPherson Junior High School fell ill and had to be admitted to hospital for treatment after consuming the laced treats. Police say their suspect will be charged in connection to that incident. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Hello, sir. Your credit card bill is due. Hello, sir. It's time for your monthly loan payment. Tired of creditors pounding at your door? Sign up for a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank and consolidate your debt into one low monthly payment. What's more, you'll also earn interest on a built-in savings account. The pandemic has curbed many freedoms, but at Fidelity, our focus is to help regain your financial freedom. Visit a branch or speak to Fidelity Bank at 356-7764. COVID safety measures in place at all branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Girl, Junior just showed me Bella Boy in his phone.
What you mean? He take picture of that good-for-nothing boy?
Shh, you don't want Bella here. You say that. You know she always say that's my good child.
So what he doing in Junior phone?
Oh, he there because the police looking for him. He on their wanted list.
Wanted persons in your phone now?
Yes, child. And when police want to find anybody quick, after something happen, they can send pictures direct to your phone. Go to Google Play or App Store and search for Crack Crime Bahamas, then pick install and it will go straight to your phone.
There is also a section on missing persons?
Yes, girl. Everybody needs to get this app so police can tell us right away when these people go missing. Just like an alert system.
Yes, it has numbers for Crime Stoppers Bahamas, so you can call and nobody knows it's you. Call directly to Miami and give the information without giving your name or anything about you. I tried the other day, and when I hear Junior and his boys talking about where they hide those guns, I walk quick round the corner and call that number.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. This traffic report brought to you by Shield Insurance.
Well, the final look at traffic congestions and delays were quite evident in the last 20 or 30 minutes or so. From a low start this morning, the major portion of the traffic commute just got into the street, and now for some, unfortunately, are still out there. Gladstone Road to Malabella Highway and Carmichael Road really had it rough all morning. Their traffic lines have been pretty slow getting out all morning, and still at this hour, got lots of folks that are still stuck behind those exits. Over the remainder of the island, it got really crowded during the minutes on the way to 9 o'clock. And now, still after, several remnants remain in the streets. Still very slow either end of Independence Drive. We've got Soldier Road that's busy from East Street in the west all the way along the entire route with slow traffic lines at the traffic light at Wolf Road. This late, we still have traffic stuck back there on Eastern Road. Prince Charles Drive from the east has gotten busier and a lot more slower, slowing down on the ride into the city. And Burnett Road has already been and still is busy with traffic mainly leaving and getting out onto the Wolf Road and Soldier Road intersection. Marathon Road is bumper to bumper for the ride into the city, and we expect that to be busy all day. The inner city Wolf Road, East Street, Collins Avenue, Mackey Street, and Palmdale, they're still having remnants of the heavy morning commute. pass through there. But traffic is changing in those areas, and we expect their nominal Friday traffic rush to be getting underway out there as well. Over the past 24 hours, police had to investigate 7 accidents out there, all crashes with no injuries, and that's fortunate. However, we still have 8 people hospitalized due to traffic accidents. This National Traffic Report is service of Dr. Danny Johnson and Associates at Foot and Ankle International, who offers the simplest and safest treatment for foot injuries. They're located in East Lane atop the hill at Fort Charlotte. Call them at 322-5402. That's 322-5402 for more info. With your Ryan and Sky look at traffic in real time, I'm VA
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. A coalition of international groups is calling on President Biden to develop plans to share any COVID-19 vaccine surplus with Italy. His primary focus is on getting Americans vaccinated. Our Jennifer King has the latest on those tornadoes and severe storms that killed at least 5 people in the South.
Residents are dealing with splintered homes and power outages. Howling winds roared across western Georgia early Friday, including a tornado that swept through the city of Noonan near Atlanta. A series of tornadoes struck Alabama. Calhoun County Sheriff Matthew Wade says 5 people died in a twister.
Tanja Sims in Birmingham, Alabama, hid in her basement as a tornado pummeled her neighborhood.
When I came out, I was really shocked to see how bad it was.
She talked to WBMA TV in Birmingham. The price of gas is going up. It's $2.87 a gallon this morning, up 78 cents from a year ago, says the AAA. I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, March 26th, 2021, and welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Today, we're going to be talking about architecture and architectural trends, the architectural trends we're seeing in the country today. My guest, Marcus Lang, is going to guide us through that all this morning. That's coming up. But first, it's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. In your morning business report, Bahama has carried out more than 60,000 COVID-19 tests on employees and guests since reopening on December 17th. That's according to the resort's president, Graham Davis. He says that the resort's COVID-19 positivity rate is just 0.0012%. Davis, who made the remarks while giving a sector update to the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, explained that the percentage means that the resort has found just 1.2 guests and associates per 1,000 have tested positive for COVID-19. Davis says Bahama has received tremendous positive feedback from guests about its health and safety protocols. He added that those protocols in the resort's Travel with Confidence program have given potential guests the confidence to book. He explained that while business levels are nowhere near what they were in 2019, the booking pace is up over 2019. He says strong booking pace is certainly picking up significantly. He revealed that in the first quarter, occupancies were down 84% compared to the same quarter in 2019, while occupancy levels in the second quarter of 2021 are forecast to be 56% down compared to the same period in 2019. Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort's reopening will be further delayed as Sandals Resorts International carries out renovations on the property that the company cannot undertake while it is occupied by guests. That's according to Sandals Executive Chairman Adam Stewart. He was speaking at the same board of directors meeting yesterday with the BHTA. He said he would give it more information on the delay soon. Royal Bahamian was slated to reopen on May 1st. Stewart says he's in town finalizing the plans for those renovations. The government is hoping to reduce revenue leakages with its new digital payment system, DigiPay. The payment system was designed and developed by a young Bahamian technologist, Christy Powell, and allows for the payment of government services with long-standing practices of agencies accepting and handling large sums of cash. Acting Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson says as the government further embraces digitization, it will be better able to track revenue intake. Overseas, China slapping sanctions on several British politicians and organizations today after the UK joined the European Union and others in sanctioning Chinese officials accused of human rights abuses in the Xinjiang region. The UK responded by accusing China of violating human rights on an industrial scale. China sanctioned 4 British institutions and 9 individuals, including prominent lawmakers, who've been criticizing the treatment of a minority group in Xinjiang. It said that they would be barred from visiting Chinese territory and banned from having financial transactions with Chinese citizens and institutions. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said the censure imposed earlier this week by the EU, the US, Britain, and Canada was based on, quote, lies and disinformation, flagrantly breaching international laws and basic norms governing international relations, grossly interferes in China's internal affairs, and severely undermines China-UK relations. China also saying that the country does not stir up trouble, but China is, quote, not afraid when others do. China is not the first to shoot, it said. Neither will we be passive and submissive to threats from the outside. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson condemned Beijing's move, saying the sanctioned individuals are performing a vital role and, quote, shining a light on the gross human rights violations being perpetrated against the Uyghur Muslims. Closer to home in your Market Watch recap from Thursday, your market movers. Commonwealth Bank moving 46,825 shares, closing up 8 cents to 283. Commonwealth Brewery moving 1,500 shares, closing down 5 cents to 445. Consolidated Water up 5 cents to 268. Emira Incorporated down 8 cents to 1095. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 1,915.15, up 8.44. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in Mondays at 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio for CFAL Talks. Mondays at 6:30 p.m. here on 96.9. You're listening to Morning Blend Business. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or facebook.com/morningblend969, or text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. It's time for a break. When we come back, we are talking about architectural trends in the Bahamas today. It's all straight ahead. Stay with us.
Invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been feeding the hungry and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details, or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
Beulah gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood.
We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too?
Of course we can.
But we could be in deep trouble if they find out.
We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami.
So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles.
Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal.
So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
That you bought today. Staring at the fire for hours and hours while I listen, playing your love songs all night long. For me, only for me. Come to me now, to me rest your head for just 5 minutes. Everything is done. Such a cozy.
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on this Friday morning, and today we are talking about architectural trends in the country today, and also in light of what we've seen last year with the pandemic, how that will factor into what we see going forward. Here to guide us through, we're very pleased to welcome back to the show. It's been a while since he's been here, but from I can't read my writing here, Marcus. TDG Architects, and from Bahamas Choice Real Estate, Marcus Lang. Great to have you with us in the
Morning,
studio.
Dwight. Thank you. Good morning, Bahamas. It's great to be back to the Guardian Radio family. Happy to be here.
All right, wonderful stuff. All right, so I want to just get this out of the way because we're going to dive deeper into this next week on the show, but just want to get your views on what the government is doing very quickly before we get into what we really want to talk about today. With these developments they are planning for young professionals, they keep saying.
But before I jump in, let me just put one or two shameless plugs in.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to openly thank God for allowing us to get to this point through this pandemic. I want to send prayers out to my brother Philip Ramming, a flag football coach and Ministry of Works vet. Him and his family as he tries to battle cancer. Y'all please go to the GoFundMe page and try to support as best you can. Bahamas Engineers, Architects, and Allied Professionals. We're having an industry forum in a few weeks to shed a light on some of the issues plaguing design and construction for the Bahamas. I would encourage professionals to get involved in that. And please do not forget to continue to support the work of the Bahamas National Trust. The BNT could use all support they can get. If you can just renew your membership, that'll be great.
Wonderful.
So I'll tell you, since the Prime Minister has announced the housing initiative, a lot of people are excited. A lot of the young people are extremely excited because it is extremely difficult to acquire housing. Typically, and even now with things being the way it is after the pandemic, people are very eager to find ways of getting housing. I think it's a great initiative if it's pulled off appropriately. If as an architect, we always are concerned with the designs.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping it's not. They say it's higher end. I'm hoping it's not the typical low-cost housing models. I'm hoping they come up with some innovative designs that would be exciting for people, and it will bring actual value to the real estate.
So that's
Yeah.
that's all you can say on that.
I can
one,
leave
then.
it. Yeah,
All right,
I'll leave it
That's
there.
fine. That's a good answer. But again, we're going to get into that a little bit later, in depth next week, and from different.
Brian Austin, very very talented, professional real estate broker, put a nice piece on Twitter
Saw
about
his
it.
thread on Twitter.
I would read that. Brian,
Agreed. Yeah,
check it out
wonderful.
on Twitter.
And hopefully you might be able to get Brian on the show to talk
Yes,
about that
yes,
as well.
yes.
That was a really good there yesterday. Okay, so architectural trends in the country. I got to tell you, last year when we saw so many people standing in the sun on long lines of saying, wow, if we'd known that this was going to be something in the future, I think this company might not have been in, and they might have thought of something. So a lot of people are going to have to retrofit their buildings thanks to COVID. We want to talk about... We'll get to that in a bit, but let's just talk about general design here in the Bahamas. We briefly touched on this a few weeks ago, and somebody texted us, and they said all the designers around here do pseudo colonial style, and how tired they are of that. Do we overdo colonial, or do we need to break the mold and try something different to go our own way?
The funny thing is, and just respond to what the owners want. You're working for someone, they hire you to build their home, to do their business. They tell you what they want. And, architects would try and push the envelope sometimes. Sometimes owners buy in. But for the most part, what you see out there in the urban fabric is what people want. Wow. So, people do things that have worked. They went to their friend's house, it looks good, it functions, they like how it feels, they want that. Very seldom you're going to have someone that wants to push outside of the box, which we encourage. But, I mean, the person that says that, they're not thinking about it from the owner's standpoint.
Yeah.
We've been lucky to have some very, very innovative clients on the home side and on the commercial side. Two of our more recent projects, Sunrise Shredding Building. I don't know, a lot of people probably haven't seen that, but the one that everyone's clamoring about is the Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Building.
Oh, yes.
It was a renovation reuse we did in the Centerville area, and it's a beautiful building.
Definitely.
The clients were very, very adamant about sticking with the initial design. We had some issues that are common with renovation rebuilds, but they stuck it out. Now they have an awesome building that people are loving, and I think it feeds into their business model.
Yeah.
Just the staff impression alone is a benefit for them.
From the outside, it looks very modern.
Yes, it's very modern, very clean, very efficient building. It used to be a canning warehouse and factory.
Oh, yeah.
So
I was thinking every time, what did this used to be? That's what it was.
Honestly,
Exactly.
I grew up in that area and I never noticed it until we took the project on.
Right. Oh, I remember it though. But yeah, okay, that's what that was. Wow. All right. So what do you think it is then? The people people see and they like it. I mean, we're told that we need to stick to what was the tradition here, and that there was a reason for that.
There's things that we do in design because they work and because they respond to our environment. Available materials. You talk about things, anticipating your environment. But at the same time, those things can be achieved in different ways, different design styles. But definitely people tend to go with what they've seen. People are very timid to try new things. But again, it's getting better. A lot of people are, HGTV, they're surfing the internet. People. If one more person calls me about container homes, I'll slit my throat. But people are getting more open-minded about design, and we're starting to see it in some of the work we do.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned container homes. Do they work here? Can they work here?
What I always tell people is to get a container home up to code and to make it cost-effective. In my opinion, it's not worth it. When you talk about hurricane resistance. You're talking about insulation and just livable space. By the time you cut that up, reinforce that, pad that, insulate that, you'd have probably spent 5 times as much. When you see container homes in other countries, those are areas that don't have to worry about the same elements we have to worry about. You know, our heavy salt environment, hurricanes, the heat. You know, someone doing that in the middle of the forest somewhere where it's a nice, moderate climate, it's a lot easier than when you have to put it here and watch it rust and be burned to death in a hot box.
Yeah, absolutely. So does that happen a lot? People, as you say, watching HGTV, looking at these magazines and saying, I want this, but no, you're going to freeze, you're going to melt, you're going to explode.
The one thing that does get me is, you know, you watch this 20-minute show and see a whole renovation, be like, oh, I want my renovation. Why is it taking so long? You know, I mean, you're talking about weeks and months of drawings to start, you know, and that's if you know what you want. Then you're talking about bidding with a contractor to get that quote to where you want it to be and checking with your budget. And then you're talking about the construction time. You know, these good-looking things take time and take effort to put together. So you gotta be in it. But you know, we got a lot of weird requests based on what people have seen on TV and in movies, and a lot of times their budget doesn't correspond.
Right.
But you gotta be very cognizant of what you can afford. From a real estate standpoint, would make sense for the market. You don't want to overbuild, but just being realistic about what you want and what you can afford.
All right, so let's talk about the trends that we're seeing in terms of business, and we'll talk about what the pandemic has changed, and then we'll later get to residential. So what are we seeing in business?
But I'll tell you, I mean, the buzzword now is automation. You know, and it's kind of been creeping in, but I think now a lot of people are jumping more into it. Things like your air conditioning control, smart everything. You know, the security. You know, the ring devices, which I love, are very trendy now, and they're very easy to install. They're not expensive. Key code locks, voice activated tech, and smartphone everything.
Right.
You know,
being able to control everything from your smartphone.
Being able to control everything from your mobile. You know, we invested in a Nest thermostat at our office, and we almost saw our electricity bill cut in half.
Really?
Nest can pay me for that ad, by the way. It's amazing how automation can make things so much simpler, especially when it's a good product, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
So definitely automation.
Can you retrofit an old building like this one here with something like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's essentially it's a thermostat. So the thermostat learns your activity. It remembers your usage. So times where you typically wouldn't be there, after a while, it learns that automatically. So there's no more leaving the AC running by mistake or turning it up or turning it down when it should be at a certain level. You know, you can set those levels, it stays. It's a very, very, very good device. Now, some more things that are trending. Obviously, with the pandemic, no one can be in office anymore. You know, without really stringent protocols. You know, luckily our office is divvied up where persons are in their own space. So, but for places that aren't as lucky, now we're talking about virtual offices. Everyone's working from home, which in turn has caused a beef up of your IT infrastructure.
Right.
So, whereas IT was just a Wi-Fi signal before, now you're talking about heavy duty servers. You're talking about Cat6 cabling. You're talking about broadcasts and peer-to-peer connections that persons weren't using before. Now all of a sudden, your FTP site is getting use when it was just sitting there.
Wow.
So people temporarily moving from open office design to now closed ventilation spaces. Now we're watching the trend, and the market always reacts to things that happen, and then most times it levels out. So in a year or 2 or 3, once people are comfortable again and people are vaccinated and herd immunity and whatever else happens that makes people feel comfortable again, all of the investment in the infrastructure that exists obviously won't just go away.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to shift right back to what we've been doing before with a different level.
So you don't think it's over? People were saying the open office plan is done.
It's going to come back because it made sense. We did it for a reason.
Right.
And now, we're kind of reacting to what's happening with COVID, which is a smart thing until we get control of this and we know how to live with it. But at some point, we're going to end up back to where we used to be. The good thing is now that people are aware of what could happen, and a lot of the Band-Aid fixes and the temporary moves, they would probably end up being used in a viable way after the fact. People aren't going to spend this money and not benefit from it in the long term.
Right.
You started to talk about like people queuing in lines. You know, if I walk past another bank and see the people out in the sun,
sun.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So obviously queuing and getting people into your business safely is important. You know, customer satisfaction should be the number one priority. And if I'm standing in a line for 20 minutes in the sun, that is not comfortable to me.
Right.
And it harms business because people don't want to come anymore, which affects their ability to do business. So, you know, shading is key, especially in our environment. I don't see anyone employing any fans or misters that could bring the temperature down. You know, I mean, there's a liability issue there where someone's waiting out there and something happens to them. You know, there could be a liability issue there.
Right.
But definitely that is something that needs to be looked at because I don't see many companies actually actively doing something about the queuing and keeping their customers comfortable.
I've seen a few tents, but I mean, there must be a better solution than that.
Yeah,
what can you do, especially if you are facing the south?
Yeah, there's only so much you could do, but I mean, you know, tents are easy. You know, you could do something. You could frame up covered canopy areas. You can frame up canopy areas where you where people queue. I mean, that's the obvious thing to do, but a lot of the queuing is not happening on their property. There's a lot of variables, and every situation is different. But you definitely, that's something that's a peeve that should be addressed.
Now, if you are just building,
right,
and what should you be thinking about? Do you need to consider the position your building is facing now that we may need to be thinking about this even after COVID, because there may be something else down the line?
Yeah, well, we've always considered that. You know, there are things that prevent you from having the ideal all the time. I mean, obviously, if you're if you're a bank and your bank is facing the direction of the sun, and the rest of the property in front of you is just a sidewalk, I mean, what do you do?
Right.
You know, so it's a case-by-case basis. Building new, and then that's another thing. A lot of people are looking at this as temporary.
Right.
So they're just waiting now for the government to say, okay, you now can let people in and just have the distance, or we've got herd immunity now, so you can come in, but you have to wear a mask. You know, people typically look at the bottom line, and they're banking on the fact that this can be cleared up, so they're going to make a heavy investment in you know, something that'll be temporary, which is kind of the balance, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of other things we've been affected. I mean, trends have been put into play more because of what we've gone through. I mean, you know, everyone became a farmer during lockdown.
Right.
So we've been seeing a lot more people looking at doing edible gardens as a part of their landscape. You know, they're like, okay, if this happens again, I'm going to be able to feed myself, and start to think, oh, I need my shelter and I need to prepare for the apocalypse. So people are farming, people are herding, you know, animals in the yard. I mean, you'd be surprised when people come to us and they say, we need this stuff designed.
Oh my.
You know, I have a colleague at Greenleaf Designs. They do edible gardens and stuff. Antonio Hall. Antonio's been on the show before too. He's done a lot of stuff with a lot of clients to create edible gardens and allowing people to be able to feed themselves. And then obviously outdoor space. Now, you know, my friends at Craven who opened Todas on Mackey Street, they've expanded their seating to outside, obviously in response to the protocols, but it does just make sense. You know, if you have a comfortable outdoor area, people will more than likely want to be out there. So you find that persons that are lucky enough to have the space, they've had to extend outside in order to stay in business. But all of our new clients are now, that is a part of their design program. You know, you must have an outdoor space.
Right.
You know, a lot of the buildings we're doing, we're looking at rooftop terraces.
Wow.
You know, we're looking at maximizing.
Here in the Bahamas.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've always been proponents of that. You know, with such beautiful temperature, there's no reason why you shouldn't have more of that. So we've been doing that and that's been a trend as well. From the commercial standpoint, you know, we talked about waiting and queuing, and there's always a discussion of what happens to the space later. And then obviously takeout and delivery. Craven has blown up. I mean, COVID has been a blessing because their business has exploded.
Definitely.
So almost every commercial business we do now, there has to be dedicated takeout services. Their point of sale tied into their infrastructure. You know, making it comfortable for a person to be able to get there, get their food, and get out. And then that's just been a thing that's become the norm now.
Right.
You know, there's a few projects we were working on where we got caught in the middle, where we had already designed it, it's under construction, and then COVID hit. So those have been painful changes for those owners, but
Costly as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a whole other part of the budget that you did not anticipate.
Right.
So, but most people, because of necessity, are doing it, and I think it will encourage more of a takeout delivery trend even after COVID.
Yeah.
Now that people know that they can order food efficiently and they can pay online, and I think it's something that's gonna stick.
Yeah. You said it. Some people thinking it's going to be temporary, but as I said, we don't know. This could go on for much longer than we think.
Yep.
The vaccines, who knows? But there might be something else, right? There's always something else, and so there could be danger in thinking I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to make these changes because this will pass after a year or two. So, what would you say to somebody who's thinking I don't need to think about the people lining up outside because next year this won't be an issue?
Well, just common decency and courtesy from a business owner. Even if it's only temporary, your priority should be your customer. If you wouldn't want to stand out there on a line in the heat, then obviously you shouldn't make your customers do the same thing. But I think your business will start to tell you that you need to do it anyway, because when people stop coming, then you're going to see the trend and then you're going to react.
Right.
And we don't want to be in a reactionary position. We always want to sort of anticipate and try to make decisions that'll improve business, and not just wait until something happens. So definitely that's something that should be looked at. Awnings are easy. There's a few companies locally that produce beautiful awnings that would allow you to have a cool space. And again, one thing that I never see persons with outdoor spaces do is really embrace the use of misters. Like if you're in a walking city that's a little warm, like you in Vegas at the hot time of year, in front of every hotel there's misters. You want to use that misting cool water just to bring the temperature down in the vicinity. So people are comfortable, they complain less, they be more happy dealing with your persons, your tellers, your customer service representatives, so they don't quit because they've been cursed out several times by people from waiting in the sun.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about there. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about residential trends and hurricane season fast approaching, and what we're noticing in terms of the design with regards to that. A lot more to get to with Marcus Lang here on Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
For the past 33 years, Great Commission Ministries has been defending the poor and hurting, feeding the hungry, and sheltering the homeless. We invite you to support our Live to Give program and make a difference in these challenging times. Become a donor by giving a one-time annual gift or a monthly donation of $50 or $100. Call Great Commission Ministries at 325-5801 for more details, or visit our headquarters at 237 Wolf Road. Join Live to Give today. This public service announcement is proudly sponsored by this radio station.
Beulah gal, can you believe this? We are now the patrol queens of the neighborhood.
We now large and in charge. So we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too?
Of course we can. But we could be in deep trouble if they find out. We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami.
So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles.
Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal.
So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Time for your final look at weather for this morning. We've got a strengthening ridge of high pressure extending across the islands that will continue to dominate weather conditions through tonight. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents along eastern shorelines. For all areas today, I expect mostly sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with a few light passing showers. Turning fair and breezy tonight. A small graph caution is in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. Look for another warm day today. Highs getting up to around 84, 85 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will persist as it continues to generate fresh to locally strong winds across the area into the weekend. So for Saturday, that means partly sunny to sunny, warm, and breezy conditions with a chance of a few showers. Sunday, partly sunny, warm, and very breezy with a chance of isolated showers. That's your morning blend weather check.
Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And now, la 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 la
We are back here with Morning Blend Business on this Friday morning. We are talking about architectural trends in the Bahamas today. We've got Marcus Lang with TDG Architects, all right, and Bahama Choice Real Estate talking about it. Okay, so before we were talking about commercial, but let's talk about residential. What are we noticing? You mentioned Ring and the devices that are controlled by your smartphone. So we're seeing a lot of technology driving design.
Yeah, definitely. People are paying more attention to technology. And I'll tell you, the automated stuff is becoming popular because of another trend that's picked up even more lately. So with the introduction of Airbnb, even before the pandemic, everybody's trying to rent their room, rent their shed, you know. So it prompted a lot of people to start to look at how they monitor those spaces. Now,
monitor the spaces, not necessarily to provide convenience for the
convenience
people.
too, but like a lot of people that we've talked to, it's like, okay, I need to be able to. I don't want to be there. I don't want to see the people. Right. How can I give access without being there? How can I control the money I spend on electricity through the use of air conditioning? I can control all of that stuff. But now, this is the most requests that I've seen for people to add on to their homes or renovate where they can subdivide. I think it's definitely in response to the economy. You know, a lot of people that have been out of work for literally a year, looking for any means to make money. Along with that, there's also the persons that, because there's no foot traffic, because there's no tourism, because there's no external dining, really, people have closed their rentals where they would have restaurants and are operating from home.
Right. Wow.
So now they need space for their kitchen equipment, they need space for storage, for refrigeration, and for serving persons as they come. So we've seen a ton of people starting to retrofit parts of their home, parts of their buildings, doing more retail, again, trying to plan for queuing and servicing people. So that's a huge trend.
Are their homes zoned for that? Are they in that area
That's another story. I mean, we advise people based on the code.
Right.
So a lot of persons come through our office,
Right.
but just the requests, and you see it, there's a lot of persons, you go on social media, there's a lot of businesses operating from home, which is fine. You can get a home business license depending on what those requirements are. And they're providing great services, great products, great food. But they're forced to do it from home because they literally just can't afford a space. And if you got a space, who's coming to it? Wow. So that's definitely a big trend. So additions, renovations, stuff like that, we've been seeing a lot of response, a lot of interest in that.
Yeah.
And then again, new homes, even new businesses, huge requests for outdoor space.
Yes.
Obviously, that's another response to what's going on. If you have an outdoor space, right now, only outdoor dining is allowed. There's a few newer restaurants that have taken that into consideration, and I think they're starting to do well. I see that the new Johnny Canoes opened. They have a beautiful indoor space, great artwork in there by my boy Alan Pacino Wallace. But the dining is restricted to the outside area, so they have their benches, they have the outdoor bar area, and there's a lot of companies and especially restaurants that are really embracing the outdoor space. Bon Vivants in Sandyport, they've expanded into an area where they could do some additional benches. So new clients and some existing clients are definitely looking at expanding their outdoor space to try to just accommodate more people safely.
Yeah.
So those are definitely some of the major trends we're seeing now. Kind of a tie-in with real estate. There's a big demand. It's always been a big demand, but even more of a big demand now for multifamily. Again, people are looking for ways to make money.
Right.
If I can buy this building, I can live in one and rent the other part or the two parts. People are looking for ways to make money and be more secure financially, given the fact that employment is low. Gated communities, persons are thinking about safety. Like, this whole thing has made people question a lot of things that they didn't really pay attention to before. Security being one of them. Sort of that herd security and being in a gated area.
Right.
I think a lot of people are looking more toward that. And just home ownership in general. People have been renting, and then you're renting a space, you lose your job, you can't afford to pay the rent, and there's a high chance of eviction.
Big problem.
Now I'm seeing a lot of people trying to find a way to have home ownership, which is why the Prime Minister's announcement was huge for a lot of people. So there's a lot of trends that have exploded just based on what's happened.
Yeah. Now, we noticed before the pandemic, especially, there was a trend in the U.S. For people to downsize and tiny homes. I suspect we're not seeing that here, but I don't know. You're the expert. Tell me, are you seeing that here? People say, I don't need a house that big.
No,
they're not saying that here.
Fame is like their space. They
I'm
got
not
their
surprised.
Family. No. We there's a few people that are thinking along those lines. But I don't think it's a big as a trend as people thought it might have been.
You generally have multiple generations living in a house here.
Yeah, I mean, and now, not even now, leading in before the pandemic, and then even now more with the pandemic, I think you're getting a lot of the shift of multiple generations in a home. Economy being a part of it, I think a lot of people, it has been extremely hard for people to be able to get funding to own a home. Right. Home ownership here is extremely hard.
Yeah.
The cost, minimum wage is what it is. The majority of the people in the Bahamas their level of revenue, the amount of money they take home, the amount of money they are able to save is ridiculously low.
Yeah.
So very seldom you're going to see people be able to afford a down payment to have a basic home. And I'm talking about professionals even. Persons, you have a married couple, both are professionals. It's hard to just have $40,000-$50,000 sitting in there just for fees to be able to qualify to get a home. And then where is this home?
Right.
So you're seeing a lot of persons moving back, either to be helpful to their elderly, or just because it makes sense financially.
Right.
Babysitting, sharing bills. The space is there.
Yeah.
And in the 80s and 90s, people built large homes because the economy was much different then. So those are sitting there. It makes sense for them to use them. So a lot of people are moving back.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. Okay, so hurricane season is fast approaching. I'm seeing a lot of glass space. Of course, we're told these are impact windows and doors. But does that make sense? Does it make sense here to just, they tell me it's hurricane resistant. I'm going to have this whole wall be glass.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if that glazing meets the specs of our building code, which is really robust, a lot of people, we need to make some revisions, but we're in no way, shape, or form exposed once a structure is built to our code. Just putting that out there, putting it on the record. The Ministry of Works does an amazing job with their review. But persons who take shortcuts, they're putting themselves at risk. Wow. So once that glass meets the specs, it's not a problem at all. What I would like people to pay more attention to is all the little things, though. Especially if you're building, there's certain things you must be aware of at the very basic level. The rafters at your roof, which is where most buildings fail, you got to have your hurricane clips, and not on one side, on both sides. You can't skimp on these things. And then if you're in areas where you're really exposed, you don't want to use regular metal on anything. You need things that are coastal grade, things that will be resistant to corrosion.
Right.
Everything from your nails, your light fixtures. You'll be surprised what our UV and our salt content in the air can do to a building.
My goodness.
So once you've built to code, you should be fine. If you can afford to hire an architect, don't skimp. A home is probably going to be the biggest investment you make in your life. You don't want to take a chance and just have some guy that's drawing in his underwear on his, on his computer.
That doesn't happen.
No,
Does that happen?
I don't know. You walk around and see certain things around it. Anyway.
Oh, dear.
But if you're going to invest so much money into your place, use a professional.
Okay, I hear about the hurricane clips all the time. How do people know whether they have the right ones, they have them at all, what to look out for?
Well, just look. They're just a metallic element that's nailed to the top of your belt beam and the rafters as they cross that belt beam. It's your place. You could look and ask questions as much as you want. So contractors get to that roof stage, tell them set up a ladder, go up there, and you could look at it yourself. But make sure that that's being done. The inspectors from the Ministry of Works are supposed to ensure these things are done as well. So, you should be fine once it's been properly inspected by the Ministry of Works personnel.
Yeah. All right. So, as we begin to wrap up, any other trends that you would like to see? Something that you hope more people get into that they're not necessarily doing right now?
Well, I'll tell you, hurricane rated windows are expensive, and as a retrofit, most people will never do those. So, my mother's house is in Angliston, and she just has regular awning windows. Rest of soul, she passed last year. But things like shutters. I have a nephew who started to produce shutters. It's a great way to protect your home when you're during a hurricane, as opposed to having to go and buy plywood and find some guy to nail them up and just damage your walls. Get some regular shutters, put those up. Hurricanes come in, you can secure your house in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Regular wood shutters.
Yeah, regular wood shutters. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You know what your budget is. I think Mr. Johnson. What's the name of that company? I can provide it later. But Mr. Johnson has these shutters. I think they were maybe $200 each. covering your regular large windows. Those awning windows, they're not hurricane rated. They're not acoustically sealed. Something hits those, that's going straight into your house. So shutters are an easy way to be prepared. And once you put them up, you're covered for years to come.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about finding plywood every year, especially for someone that's not handy. It makes sense to have it.
Right, and fighting with the wind and the rain as the storm.
Because everyone waits till the day before the hurricane to do it.
My goodness, yeah.
But yeah, and the next thing too is ensuring that you have means to store water. Hurricanes coming, you at the very your basic needs will be making sure your place is secure and having access to potable water. So definitely you want to look at always having a means to store water, storage tank, cistern if the house has it. But those are the two key life elements I think you gotta take into consideration. You live in the Bahamas, just potentially have a hurricane every year.
Yeah.
You gotta be prepared.
Excellent stuff, Marcus Lang. Tell people how they can reach you. This is your time for a quick plug there. They gave two companies you can reach you at.
But we're easy to find. You can Google us. Our website is being redone right now, but TDG Architects, TDG-architects.com. But we're easy. Google us. Carlos Hepburn is our principal, very talented architect. Marcus Lang, I'm easy to find. I'm on social media. We're here to help.
Yeah.
And feel free to reach to any licensed architect. You go online, you can Google the Bahamas, the Professional Architects Board. You can find the list of licensed architects. Any of those guys are on there. They are qualified. They're trained. They can help you with all of these issues.
Excellent stuff, Marcus Lang. Thank you so much. Got to do this again soon.
Yeah, man.
Great having you on the
Whenever
show.
you're ready.
All right. That is it for us today, folks. Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're back next week, Monday at 9 o'clock, following Morning Blend right here on the station. I'm Dwight Strachan. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Aaron Green is up next with On the Clock.